What I like about that show is like a thing that I like about it's just like a type of fiction that I like. Like I like magical realism kind of things. Like it's a very like slice of life like kind of show while also like having aliens and demigods in it. Like
it's a very weird show.
Number of the book series,
like coming of age and stuff, but also let me like smash this meteor back into space with a baseball bat. Like, and I love that.
It was just so weird. Like I watched it the wrong time.
Very weird, and I loved it. It was good.
I feel like I'm watching an anime that's like the background of like the Gorillaz band. Like you know, like, there's so much of it that's like if the Gorillaz band had an anime.
If they ever put out an anime, I would.
The Pillows did all of them for Fooly Cooley, and Little Busters is still one of my favorite theme songs.
But as always, you know, also fuck Evangelion. So last time around,
I appreciate the opening theme, if nothing else.
Easy stance to take, but okay.
And nothing else.
And nothing else.
I appreciate what it did in the history of anime. I don't need to like the actual anime.
I don't.
I hate it, but we'll have that conversation off microphone.
Okay.
So,
you made the choice to say that.
Of course I did, but I did it so I can immediately pivot to last time around. You guys wrapped up the horrors of the village of Nihet. You successfully got all of the refugees out of Nihet and over to Break, and you also two of you who are already over in Break, Aramil and Sai, reconnected with let's call it nemesis from the past. Sai, you had a long conversation with Tobias, the name he gave you at least, the halfling scientist who was working with the Order on the Jarl to convince him to help figure out a way to undo the things that happened to the Jarl. You've set him up with a laboratory in the basement of the Longhouse in the crypt of the Crypt of Kings, and seems to be going well there. Aramil, you had a brief interaction with everyone's favorite council member Rivers, where he reminded you that it's winter and that crops don't grow right now. Please leave him alone.
He's telling you this at the beginning, so you remember. I have to go find him.
You all, the rest of you are currently aboard the Tony Hawk flying to Break. You had a brief conversation with your old pal Perrin, who had been waiting with the Pearl, waiting for your word to go head over to Nihet, and then gave you a call because it was done already. He's a little pissed that he missed the fight, but that's just because he's an asshole. He has now been sent back to Lathander and said that he is going to reach out to you once he returns to Lathander and put you in contact with Vondra once he gets back there. So you have that
asshole's
upcoming.
A good friend of mine.
He is.
Both these things are true.
Morgan, as the man who played the character before I was a dungeon master, let me tell you, he is an asshole.
Oh yeah, let's not forget he's also still a dirtbag a little bit.
He's a little bit of a dirtbag and a little bit racist, specifically at orcs.
Really?
But his whole thing was that he had like the classic character archetype of like orcs bad sort of thing. That's about it. God damn it! Did you put any of the sounds from that I sent you in there?
No, but I did add some new ones in here that you're going to be hearing throughout the day.
Joy.
Okay.
Got a bicycle.
Chicago.
For those of you playing at home, after that trailer for Neo: The World Ends with You dropped, I sent Morgan a soundboard of just show me Mimoto shout outs.
Coastline is all I remember.
Zeta slow. Anyway, you guys have not settled on.
Oh God. That's right to be drinking, Craig.
I will just spit cranberry juice all over my laptop.
That's such a good addition.
There it is.
I'm so glad I didn't have coffee in my mouth.
What is that?
Oh, good.
Like, what is that sound? Why do I know it?
It was the fucking Home Improvement sound.
Home Improvement. Yeah.
We've gone off the rails immediately. We haven't even gotten out of the recap.
It's
Shut the
been a
stream
while.
down, start over.
So, yeah, it's just reboot. Let's do it. Everyone, it's just deep breaths in. All right. So, you guys have not decided where you're going to go next. You have a couple of things that you can do on your agenda. I have actually, because I am a nice GM, I have made a list of your current objectives that you know about at the very least.
Our many side quests. Oh boy.
The many side quests and main quests. Just to remind you guys, rather than have you pull up in conversation and like ask me things that you should know, I'm just going to remind you now, especially because this is going to be, for anybody who is watching, mostly a town shopping and preparation for the next step episode. This is going to be a lot of time in break. This is going to be a lot of time in Jerselheim and moving forward from there. So we're going to go from there. The things that you have, the people you have to recruit at least, or the prophecy folks that you know about and where they are. Krem, who is currently in break. Jerso, who is currently in the Pick Outpost. Darwin, who is currently in the Lost City of Glass. Yuanto in the Scorched Wastes. And Demetrius in the Plane of Fire. You can also, the side questy part of things that you currently know about, you can still go through and rescue Montansian, the living tree from the elemental plane of Earth, where he ran away and is currently hiding. And that's actually the only side quest you guys have right now. Everything else is main quest. Congratulations, you've filled out the book for the most part. I mean, there are other smaller side quests in some of these places, but for the most part, these are the big ones.
Trying to get all the trophies,
Exactly.
These are
100%
personal agendas as well.
Exactly. Like you've got your personal agendas and things that you guys
got people to find.
You got people to find, but for the most part, they're in the same place. Save one of your cousins who's currently on the other side of the continent. You can figure that out when you want to. So that's what you got. We're going to pick up with the flying team landing in break. What would you like to do?
So I vaguely remember that we had a conversation about how I think what part of what we wanted to do next was get Krem kind of on lockdown, like locked in and like on board. So that
yeah, we were waiting until we were coming back from the fight because we knew where he was.
Yes. So we wanted to make sure he was like good to go and chat with him. And then I don't remember what city it was, but I know that one of the places we had to go also overlapped with Sai finding out a little bit more about his family. And we said that was something we could prioritize because it overlapped with, I don't remember what, like the Glass City or
the guy in the elemental player. Yeah, like because did we see him talking to your cousin or?
Yes, the two individuals, Jerso, who is a dwarven airship pilot, and Sai's cousin, were discussing each other. This is her name.
Okay. So that was one of the other things we said. So like I'm on board with like talking to Krem, trying to explain the situation without sounding too crazy, and getting him to like understand and kind of
come with us to the Feywild.
Yeah, relocate to a safe place where he wouldn't be in danger. And then like figuring out how to get to Jerso. That's my thoughts.
Can I save the tree? Not save. Can I go tell the tree to go home?
I mean, you have to figure out a way to get to the elemental plane of Earth and then find him.
All right, so here's my weird question. Can I just tree stride to a Montansian?
Make a wisdom check.
Okay.
Oh, that getting some like Steven Universe teleporting vibes. Coming out of there.
Who, me? Or
How's it going?
Oh, if we're tree striding through a tree, it's there's an aspect. There's a teleporting aspect in Steven Universe where he comes out of somebody's hair.
Gotcha. Wild.
Shit. Yeah. It It's not a saving throw, right?
Not a saving
No.
throw, just a check.
10 then.
You know that the way your tree stride works is that you have to tree stride through a tree that you're familiar with. So going and finding a tree in an area, scrying on an area, and seeing a tree, those can work. Amonton Cian, while he is a tree, is also a living being in a different way that a tree is. I know a tree is a living being, but sentience does change things.
Yeah.
Trees are mildly sentient, but also not the point. That probably won't work.
Okay.
At least you'd have to ask permission first.
Yes. Always ask for consent.
Oh, we're tight. We're friends.
You don't think it would weird him out if we just like walked through his body?
Yeah, walked out of his chest. I'm like, hey, dude. What's up?
What are
You
friends
should go-
for?
Yeah, you should go home. Also, you're kind of our way back.
Hey, can I just I'm like a little Joey in the Wall Street.
Need fan art of that yesterday.
Yep. Oh boy. So that plan probably won't work.
Okay. We can try and scry. Phaedra can help me when I meet up with Phaedra again.
Yeah.
You're all back together at this
We're
point.
back in the
Yeah, I mean, we can basically autopilot the part where we just sort of do the nuts and bolts of making sure. Did we have any passengers with us? We did,
Yes,
right?
yes, we did.
Make
We
sure
had
the
some,
people that
yeah.
we brought back.
Yep.
Get back. Start the ball rolling. Get some people from the various councils and authorities of Break to sort of help these folks out and make sure that anybody who might have been missing them over the last question mark period of time knows where to find them and that kind of thing. Reconnect some people with some people.
Yeah, and it is like a happy reunion for a lot of people. The folks that you're bringing back on the Hawk are the most able-bodied and healthiest. You got the most weakened or the most kind of roughed up through first, so they could get medical aid, so they could be in the area of the clerics, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So these folks are the ones who've also therefore been in Nihet the least amount of time, and so therefore they're able to reconnect and kind of go back to society relatively easily. And I should say, for the cold wintry climate that is currently kind of overtaking Break in the surrounding area, even for you, Sai, the city is bustling in a way that it hasn't in a long time. Now, granted, there was an influx of almost 1,500 people recently between the militia coming back and all the folks you've gotten kind of out from Nihet. So there's a lot of people here who just weren't here previously. But there's also just an energy and a spark to the air that it just wasn't really there before. Society is restabilizing and kind of reestablishing itself. The presence of the council and the knowledge that the Jarl is at least back. Word has not disseminated as to the state of the Jarl, but that that he is in the city has kind of gotten loose via guards, and even though you guys selected, or Sai, I should say, you selected guards and watchmen who are incredibly loyal to you guys and therefore have a pretty strong gag order on them to mentioning the state of things that are in.
Well, I specifically said I wanted the militia to take over the guard of that.
Yes. And they are doing so, but they're still people of the city. And as such, word spreads that he is at least alive and
That's
here. The state of him, from what you've gathered over the past 2 days or so, listening to whispers on the street, doing well. No one really seems to know, just that he is here and things are under control and the prosperity of Break will return. There is that kind of energy and that kind of drive back. So things are good. Plus you have the movement of rationed goods. It's still kind of a wartime city. Goods are being rationed as opposed to just barter and trade kicking back up, but there are forges going again. There are, shops going again. Pubs and taverns are reopening. The city is coming alive in a way that, even for you, it really hadn't been before you left. Not to say that all of the issues of break have been resolved.
No.
They most certainly have not been. But things are okay. You did good work, guys, is more of what I'm saying.
Yay.
You've done good, y'all.
Son of a bitch. I'm so terrified of ending this campaign purely because I know Morgan is going to create a character that does not talk and exclusively interacts via soundboard.
Yes, the Michael Bay Bumblebee approach.
It's going to be a Kenku. It's
like
going to be a Kenku who just
gonna say,
mimics shit.
He's got a bicycle.
I was gonna say like I assume it was gonna be something like a Warforged, where sort of Bumblebee, where he only speaks in
radio.
Like
a Warforged with a phonogram for a chest.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just fucking Bumblebee.
Sure.
I
love it.
Why? It's so long. It's so long. Anyway, you're back in. All of you are back in break for about a day and a half before you're reached out to by Fondra. So, what sort of things do you want to take care of in that day and a half?
I want to talk to Prem.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really, honestly, like not much else for me.
I don't know if the tree thing is going to take a day and a half or more. I don't even know.
Why did he? Why?
He left because the Feywild was under attack.
Oh.
But we need to go.
He literally has not been back since, and they can't.
So we need to go tell him that.
So yeah, while we chat with Prem, if you have a way to get, like, maybe Phaedra can help you find a tree.
Phaedra can help me scry on
and you can like pop over there and just like have a little chat with him and be like, hey Prem.
Pop your head out of his chest, be like, hey, go.
I have concerns with that.
In that area.
Do you need to have a tree to go there? Is this a thing that I could circle you there?
Oh, I don't know.
I can also.
Do you know one?
I can also, I can try sending him a message. If he's on another plane, there's a 5% chance of failure, but I can at least prepare him.
I like those odds.
I want to say all of that has been tried.
Let's do that then.
Yes. So, as Sai rightly pointed out, the message part has been attempted.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there was no response back.
The same with scrying, wasn't there?
Scrying. Well, the problem with scrying, if you guys remember, is that you attempted to scry upon him, and you basically just saw the tops of a lot of trees.
Right.
Word.
So it
wasn't very good as to where we needed to go, basically.
Yes, it gave you a general area, and like if the tree could be a tree could be described to Aramil via that way, that will get you probably within like a couple of mile area, but he is in like deep hide mode. He is in like, it's kind of the joy of being an ent in that, or a tree ent in D&D parlance, my apologies, in that time doesn't move for you the same way it moves for other people. So therefore the action of like hiding out until things are safe can spend a lot of time to a person, but isn't all that much time to him.
A tree laying low for a while can be a pretty long time.
Yeah.
So he's just in kind of deep hide mode. So there will be a fun scavenger hunt, basically, in the plane of Earth to try and find him, and maybe some other things that I have planned if you go there.
Hell yeah!
My other
concern... That's like I instantly was thinking to myself, like, I don't think Marleman would want to be like asking questions. I think he would be like, that sounds like a boring idea. Let's go have some fun. Like
the dark forest.
My other concern is, aren't our opponents trying to do a ritual in that at some point in there?
So the Elemental Plane of Earth is the only place you guys can go that has no direct connection to what you guys are doing. They're not trying to do anything on the Elemental Plane of Earth. The only places they're trying to do something on the Elemental Plane are, spoilers, places where other people in the prophecy also are. The Elemental Plane of Air and Fire.
Weird how that works.
As much as I like the tree guy, I think we have other things to focus on first.
I wonder if we could, like, because we want him to ultimately go to the Feywild, don't we? Like, that's where he's from.
Yeah.
Well,
so
yeah.
Prem could take a little field trip with us.
Oh, that'll help convince Krem that we know what we're fucking talking about. Like, let's just take him to another plane and do a scavenger hunt with him, and then be like, okay, we need you to go to the Feywild.
Now go with this tree, who you're friends with.
Yeah,
now. You know him.
That's a great idea.
You guys go back to the Feywild together, and but Krem has to agree to go on the scavenger hunt.
Yeah, we are not kidnapping this guy.
Yeah.
Well, he has to agree.
Well, I mean, at some point we're gonna have to just kidnap him.
That's the thing. Like,
if he doesn't agree,
we
can take him on a cool scavenger hunt, or we can kidnap him.
Correct me if I'm wrong. If he doesn't agree, that means we haven't gotten his unlock condition, which means kidnapping him won't help anyways.
Yeah, like dragging his ass over there if he hasn't, like, if the whatever prophetic magic nonsense hasn't occurred, will pretty much just be putting him in more danger. So we gotta. Nix is right. Talking with him is definitely step one of anything.
Yes.
Then after that, then let's not work him into too many more plans until after that's had a chance to play out.
Okay, fine.
Would you?
Because we'll have to tell him that, like, regardless of if he comes with us or not, it's possible other people could be after him, so he needs to be careful.
Would you guys like a reminder of the other part of the prophecy? Not the one you got originally, but the one that speaks a little bit more about the unlock conditions, as you put it, Craig.
Hey.
Jay's the bonfire version or whatever it is.
Sorry, Jay. My bad.
Had that sick terminology that I could not think of.
I mean, it's fair.
Yeah, sure. I mean, information is good, and my memory is terrible.
So we need anger, humility, contentment, honesty, and peace. Those are what my notes say.
Yeah. So the full thing is that there were 8 travelers on the path to midnight. 1 curious, 1 confident, 1 pious, 1 lustful, 1 at peace, 1 at deceit, 1 running from the future, 1 running from the past. Along the way, blah, 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 poetry stuff. The curious grew confident. Hey, you did it. The confident found vulnerability. The pious found humility. And the lustful found enough. Peaceful found their anger. The liar found their truth. And the runners found acceptance from time and from groups.
Well, since the guy's a cleric, my first assumption would be pious, but...
Yeah, I don't.
He might be a liar.
No, we could bring him.
We'd have to talk to him more.
Find out.
I mean, he seemed fairly chill when we briefly checked in with him, but that was very brief.
All right.
He was a lay practitioner of who?
The Raven Queen?
Yes.
Yeah.
He said confidently.
I was like, I'm pretty sure it was the Raven Queen because it wasn't whatever Break's god was.
The answer is yes. And the reason I said it not confidently is that I forgot that I've already told you that part.
Okay.
It was just a really lucky guess.
It could also have just been a really lucky guess because
I remember when we went, I would have recognized the symbol of the Raven Queen.
Well, so here's the thing. He's not in a temple of the Raven Queen here in the city of Break. I remember how you guys figured this out. So
the Encyclopedia Bot, right?
Yes, the Encyclopedia Bot told you. He is currently acting as a cleric of someone else here in the city.
Huh.
He's a liar.
Ah, liar! Ha-ha!
That I don't remember happening.
I mean, it might just be so he could survive in the city during everything going down. Sure.
So
he's a liar.
I mean,
I don't know.
I legitimately don't.
Well, the Raven Queen isn't like the Raven Queen. Like, a lot of people don't like people who worship her.
Yeah,
like there's a lot of like. There's a lot of.
There's a stigma of sorts,
like,
sure.
Yeah, like stereotyping.
Yeah, like fucking dead worshippers are weird. Like people don't, especially in a city that values like honor and strength and power over most of the things. Worshippers of the queen of the controller of the dead gets a little messier.
So he told us he worshipped someone he doesn't, or he told us.
You guys found him in a temple of Ayun here in the city,
right?
But I'm remembering now, it's been a while, apologies. Upon confronting him with the knowledge of like, why do you worship Ioun? He both dropped a couple of hints that he doesn't, but you also already know that he doesn't.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Gary, in this universe, is the Raven Queen like true neutral?
Make a religion check.
Oh.
Shit.
I keep forgetting to ask you for it, Gary, but
That
just
book?
yeah.
Yeah, I got it. I can send it to you after this one. I keep meaning to send it to you and just kind of forget it.
Like I
17.
think I know the general overview of the god. I just want your
Yeah. So it's not that she's true neutral, it's that she is the most both understood and least understood because she was moral. And because she actually has legitimate mortal connections, it's hard to know. She's the least noteworthy motivation of all of the Pantheon. So therefore she will do things, or followers of her and in her name atrocities have been committed, but on the other hand, in her name and in her honor, great gifts and great service has been done. So it's really hard to know.
Okay. I remember we had a lot of backstory regarding the weapons and the gods and stuff, and I couldn't remember if she was involved in that too.
She was involved in that.
Okay, there's a lot of backstory that I've forgotten because it's been a while.
Which side of the conflict was she on?
She was against the people who got sealed, right?
Yes, she was one of the binders. She was one of the binders.
Oh, right. She was working with the Queen of
Titania,
the Queen of Air and Darkness, and someone else that you. I don't think you guys have actually identified who the fourth was yet.
No.
Ioun.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
You know that they were carrying a symbol of Ioun, but like who that was, you haven't figured that part out yet.
From.
Hulk Hogan.
Potentially.
Hulk Hogan.
I forget
I'm going to put my foot in the sand right here. The binders had motivation, but they're not racist. So
okay, good to know. Then that rules him out.
Not Hogan.
I don't know what it means to put your foot in the sand because of drawing a line in the sand and putting your foot down.
Yeah.
Like you put your feet in the sand, like you're unmovable, like you've buried yourself in and you can't be knocked over is the idea.
I think that's actually
that's not an idiom.
Well, I made it up.
So of two idioms and I like it.
There's actually a term for when you combine two idioms. I forget what it is though.
It's a Gary Wilsonism now, so fuck off.
Yeah,
Let's move on.
I'm just saying I think
it's Malafor. I actually think you're right.
Yeah.
Is that the name of the god? Malafor?
No, that's
dope.
That's a Warcraft god, I think.
Is it?
Yeah.
Malfagor is, I believe.
Malfagor, that's
Malfurion.
Close enough.
Oh, that is too.
Well, Malfurion, yeah.
Malafor.
Anyway,
Slumbo.
Back to our regularly scheduled broadcast.
Yes. But yes, she as an individual was one of those four people.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Before she was raised.
So because he was a mortal who became a god. Yeah.
Yes, she is one of her names is the mortal goddess.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Seriously, if she was strong enough before godhood to help be one of the binders, either approaching the level of one of the queens of fairy, wonder what the hell she was.
Are the queens considered goddesses, or are they just extremely powerful fae?
They're archfaes. Like they're
okay.
At a certain point, that line gets a little blurred, but they're not strong enough to been locked behind the divine gate, but they're also too strong to freely move in between the realms.
Okay, because I was curious if the binding is what gave them their godhood or divinity, so that's why I was curious.
You don't know.
It seems like everybody grew in power after that, so there's something to be.
Well, when you lock away some deities, presumably.
The chaoses are less deities and more
powerful entities of some regard.
I would say the queens of fae are more like the chaoses than actual gods.
Well, sure. Fae.
Back to the topic at hand.
Yeah,
good
of course.
Krem.
So I'm thinking Marleman has thought on this.
Oh boy.
He's happy to have some sort of conversation with Krem because he has a lot of bard spells that are charisma focused.
Like, I know you're the most charismatic, but that's still so funny.
Gee, thanks. Yeah.
Because
Yeah, I know.
there's a lot of time when your charisma can only help so much.
What is your charisma score, by the way?
My charisma is
Should be high,
20.
It's perfect 20 at this point.
It needs to be high to be a sorcerer.
I have a plus 15 in persuasion.
So mine's actually higher.
What?
Ooh.
Oh, right. Warlocks also use charisma?
Peacekeeper also.
Yeah.
Oh.
And they have advantage on charisma, on persuasion check.
Yeah. Okay.
Damn.
So, you're like good, so you guys are like good cop, bad cop.
Oh shit.
We're like, no.
It's like bad cop, good cop who tries to be bad cop.
It is genuinely fun to me that you guys have 2 vestiges, one of which has been raised to the next level. The other one might as well be a glorified may as well be a glorified paperweight.
Hey.
There is more. There are higher levels, right? We know when it's reached its end.
Yes. You know that Peacekeeper is at whatever the second level is. I forget what the exact name is.
Yeah.
Is using it how it gets exalted, or is it like you got to go through an emotional journey sort of thing? Because I can't. This is just Heather asking. This is not. This is Heather not remembering. Okay, couldn't remember.
Yes.
Could not remember.
Things have unlock conditions, both people and items.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mine was completely irregardless of using the actual object. It was actually I couldn't use the object to unlock it higher.
Mm-hmm.
So
you had to win 3 fights in a row without blocking. It was fucked up.
I forgot.
It's hard.
I forget. How did I get mine?
You bought it.
You bought it.
I bought it? Oh, okay. No wonder I didn't think it was a fucking vestige if I could just buy it in
you fucking bought it from Balthazar.
All right. Where is he?
Demon body.
That's a great question.
I might, because if we have to go to the fire plane, I might contact him or our fire genasi friend.
Well, I always thought he might be one of the people we're looking for, but
Balthazar?
Yeah.
He seems kind of.
No, I don't.
Yeah. He's not, but for a long time until we got actual names, I thought he was one.
Yeah.
He's fun. I love him.
He is.
What's the name of the fire genasi we saved?
Oh,
Scorch Brannigan. I don't remember.
Please
Tedora.
Nope.
It is Tedora.
Scorch Brannigan. It is.
I mean, it's in my notes. It is still Tedora. Fire Genasi. Parentheses talks kind of like Zap Brannigan. So.
Oh, now it's canon.
I've said that since he fucking showed up.
He's not hiding this. I respect it. Anyway.
All right, cool. Because he went back to the plane of fire, and we may have to go there, so that is something I will consider when
we will look
next
him
travel.
Up.
There was also another character who's in the elemental plane of fire right now that only one of you know about.
Who knows about it?
Phaedra.
I do?
You do.
Can you remind me? Because Heather doesn't remember.
I will text it to you, but yes.
Because I don't remember. Sorry.
So, all right.
Because I remember the fire genasi guy said, "Hey, if you need anything, hit me up. We did save your life, etc." So if we need to go, I'll message him, I guess.
So we need to have a conversation with Krem. But after that, unless he opens up a whole new side quest for us, which seems to be what happens with these guys. Thank you. I guess we can just talk to him first and then figure out what to do, because it's not like we can't just go do that now.
Kind of, we'll feel out the situation.
Yeah. Besides, I kind of want to just have
get to an understanding where he understands staying here is dangerous.
Yeah.
And you should come find a tree with us.
If he wants to, he can come find a tree with us, or we have a safe place for him in the Feywild to wait with other people like him.
I maybe want to have other conversations with him, so I want to make sure that he's on our side. And I honestly, let me ask you this, everybody, this question first. Does anybody have a problem with the Raven Queen? Or servants of?
Nyx is just like a religious. Like when you guys talk about the gods, she's just like,
yep.
I lived in a tree. Like,
my deity is on the neutral side, so probably I assume my guy probably wouldn't have too many issues with the Raven Queen.
Probably not.
I don't think
I only
so.
begrudgingly care about Astral Dad.
This is Heather saying this. Pretty sure no.
Celestian, I could DM tell you this right now. He doesn't give two fucking shits.
Yeah, he's kind of like, yeah.
From the book I read,
weird.
would Kor care or would Ioun care?
They have relationships.
Okay.
It's less care and more. They have history.
Okay. It would.
Maybe
anything I read say that Kor and are on bad terms in the Raven Queen?
I mean, Kor is kind of on bad terms with everybody. He's just sort of a dick.
He's good aligned, or he's neutral. Good aligned.
It's amazing how those things work out.
Yeah, funny that.
Like strength through power, like can be good aligned, but also just be kind of a dick.
That's fair.
But the Raven Queen is kind of just the opposite of Kor in a lot of different ways. Like, whereas one is about the end of the journey, the other one is about the journey. Like, they have complicated feelings, but less against each other.
Okay,
they're more unwilling partners.
All of that was to say, I think if we go to him saying that we know your secret and we're all very okay with it, I think would kind of go a ways.
So he doesn't know that we know.
No.
Okay.
No. But was there anything keeping him here? Like, obviously all the other clerics were gone, so was he just staying? I can't remember if he was staying here out of like a sense of duty or the fact that he like literally couldn't leave or something. I can't remember what we discussed with him.
Like why?
I don't think so.
He was actively taking care of the Temple of Ioun while the clerics were gone. Yep. And he was actually helping take care of some of the other temples, like the Temple of Kord.
Yes, he was.
Because it was only the layman left.
Yeah.
He's a cleric, but he doesn't have like magic, which is why he was still here.
Sorry.
He is a priest. He's not a cleric.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So that's why. So as far as we know, he doesn't have magic.
Priest of Ioun. He might be a cleric of the Raven Queen. We don't actually know that fact yet.
That's true.
Let's not make assumptions too far. He's presenting himself as a priest of Ioun.
Okay, we should talk to him. Presumably, yeah.
Okay, so
then he'd be there.
So does everybody want to come?
Yeah, I'll come.
I'll come. Yeah.
Yep.
Trev?
I'll see if you try to pay attention to stuff he says to see if there's anything weird.
Okay.
Bring the book back to return it to him.
Perfect.
My internet being a butt.
I will again. Apologies. I will send you that book. I promise.
Yeah, I keep forgetting. It's okay. I forgot to ask you something over the last couple of weeks. Even.
Yeah.
We had like a month.
So you guys make your way over to the Temple of Ioun. It's not too far from the Longhouse. It is in the kind of the upper district. And the first thing that strikes you as you approach is that it is bustling right now. With the return of the clerics and with the return of kind of the priestly hood, so to speak, it is fairly busy in there. It is also being used as a sick room. So a lot of the people who were injured or malnourished or just sort of having a bad time are being treated in the temple. You could see small acts of magic happening here or there to help comfort and to help kind of ease some pain. No one here looks like they're particularly on the brink of death. Just more, using small magics to kind of help along the healing and the recovery process. You could see 5 or 6 different clerics kind of shuffling about. At this point, it's been probably about 5 days or so since you have returned the clerics to the city. So that has been enough time for most of the regeneration spells that needed to be cast upon them to give them their tongues back have happened. So they are back to magic casting.
Hooray!
When you arrive, you ask for Krem. You are told that he is in in a back area preparing some poultices, and you are free to go and find him as you see fit.
Okay. We say thank you, and we do that.
Okay.
We'll find him.
You head into the back, and you find a pretty nice area, stripped bare, and very kind of religious in that way. Simple but functional. You find Krem at a very large stone table with a number of different plants and herbs in front of him that he seems to be blending into some kind of paste or poultice to help with some of what's happening outside. He doesn't seem to notice when you arrive.
Hello.
Hi, Krem.
Yeah.
Kind of turns and looks. Friends, you've arrived back. That is most wonderful to hear. He kind of turns. It's been a couple of days, but nothing much on his appearance has changed. Still tall, standing a little bit over 6 foot, bald, a very clean cut, kind of small beard and goatee. Kind of looks over all of you and says, "How was? Well, I can see that your journey was fruitful. So you have our immense thanks."
Was that
wasn't
Morgan?
me.
That was me. Who the fuck?
Skeeter from Doug is here.
Oh man.
Sorry.
Nice.
Like,
That got Craig. That killed him. It's amazing that fucking real world got him harder than.
The timing was really good.
Yep.
It's the cheapest drug there is.
Jesus. You have our immense thanks.
You're welcome. Thank you for helping to house the people as they've come back and have needed space to heal and magic to heal. That's very kind of you.
Of course,
yes,
it is.
Your care is going to be invaluable to putting everything back together.
It is our doing.
In a private area.
Yeah, no one's here right now. Everyone else you saw is kind of out front.
Okay.
It is our duty to the knowing mistress to make sure that all life is preserved and held sacred, so that those who must continue their journeys along knowledge shall continue forward.
And of course, when someone's time is done, their time is done, right?
Their time is done, and it is our duty to capture their knowledge and expand upon it into the next generation.
I just love
Refusal laugh.
I just love Sai's approach of just like, let's just sort of like say things that would be valuable to somebody who worships this other god.
Yeah.
Bait him in.
Just be like, he kind of looks over you with a small smile, Sai, and says, "I hope that our the text I lent you was informative as to the nature of our mistress."
It was among other things. Thank you very much, and I'll return it to him. And if you're available, I'd love to speak with you more at length and more in depth, just to get more of a perspective on these things. As I told you, I'm not too well versed.
Certainly. I must finish my herbalism here, and should be done relatively soon. But once my task is complete, I'd be more than happy to sit and chat with a fellow scholar.
Is there anything that we can help with? I believe some of us have experience in making medicines.
I do.
Yeah, I can assist with that.
So can try.
Any assistance that would be fantastic, of course.
Great. I'd be happy to help.
Perfect. Make your alchemy
checks?
rolls for Fader would be a medicine check. Nice.
3 points.
Because you're also trained in nature, you can also assist in this if you so choose.
All right.
Anybody who's been to my apartment knows how far away that recycling bin is.
Yep.
22.
So, on a side note, I love the thought of people from Break being treated by medicine made by a tiefling, an elf, and a drow.
Yeah.
To be
23.
racist when you're dying.
Yeah. I wish that were true.
I know.
Yeah. 20.
What do they see who was calling the shots around
Nice.
here for a while?
Between the three of you, being able to kind of more thoroughly identify some stuff, more thoroughly kind of handle things, some different techniques that you're all familiar with, you're able to. He kind of lets you know like what he's trying to create and kind of working with. And between the three of you, you're able to create a ton of this very quickly. Just between the techniques you know and kind of Armel, your more deeper knowledge of the actions of plants and herbs and things like that. You guys do great work. Like it is done. There's enough of this. He's basically trying to create both an antiseptic and a what's the word?
Describe it.
Numbing, pain relieving,
Anesthetic.
Thank you. Poultice to be able to place upon like small wounds and things like that. You know, to be able to ease some pain from lesions and from things like that may have popped up on some of these folks. You guys are able to do that very quickly, and he looks at the three of you and is like, I would love to spend more time with all of you to learn how to do that better, because that was incredible.
You think that's cool? Wait until you meet my world tree friend.
Oh yeah.
God.
You want to learn some cool shit, you should definitely talk to this tree.
You're all very strange, but
You don't know that.
And incredibly knowledgeable.
It sounds like it. I would love to spend time and learn from all of you the things and the parts of the world that you've seen.
Hey Gary,
Have you only
what time is it right now in game?
It's like 1 p.m-ish. It's pretty early.
How's 2 o'clock sound?
I mean, we're talking to him literally right now.
I'm free now as well. You guys have solved the one task I had.
Marlon is just like, nah, man, I got one thing I gotta go do.
Yeah, man, I gotta go take a nap. Fuck y'all.
We have traveled all over. Have you only ever lived in Break?
I've been throughout the kingdoms, but most of my life was spent here in Break.
Oh, okay. This is Heather asking, is Ioun just like, it's an accepted deity here in the city, even though it's...
Yep.
Okay.
It's not the state deity, but it is.
Yeah, there's no...
accepted.
This is not like a dynasty situation where there's like a couple of accepted deities and then a bunch of them, like the fringe ones that other people do.
Okay.
Like this is like more of a... There is a state religion that, you know, is mostly practiced, but there's no frowned upon like, ooh, you do that while we go over here on Sundays. Like, not really. Plus, Ioun in particular, because they typically run libraries and repositories of knowledge, they just kind of get accepted into places that even other gods would not.
Okay. Okay. So were you here in Break then before everything kind of went
Oh, certainly.
south? I was trying to be delicate about it.
Sideways?
Certainly.
I don't know.
I've made my home here in this temple for the past 15 seasons.
Oh.
Very nice.
Seasons.
Okay. Wouldn't that be roughly the time that I arrived?
Give or take, yeah.
Okay.
Had you met him before, Sai?
No.
Sai's not a religious man.
Well, no, but he lived in the city. It's possible he might have run into him. They walked in the city.
Well, I lived in the city, but I also was gone a lot.
Okay. Fair enough.
So who's going to tell him?
Excuse me?
We'll get there.
Delicacy. It's your specialty.
Again, let's like sit down and get comfortable for a conversation here.
Certainly, please. Kind of gestures at there's like a number of very simple wooden chairs and like a longer cushioned but not plush couch that he kind of gestures you all onto. He takes a chair for himself and very gingerly lowers himself down.
So I'm curious, what of our adventures have you heard?
Well, I know that you are a group of very powerful individuals who arrived.
Merry band?
A merry band of individuals who arrived here in the city.
By individuals, do you mean like problem solvers?
You've certainly solved problems here within Break, so certainly that is a name you could.
Our interrogation tactics are amazing. So good at this.
I know that you arrived via previously frowned upon magic, that you made a name for yourselves very quickly, but have done amazing work for the realm. I've heard that you slayed a dragon, which is impressive to say the least, that you've saved now 2 different villages here in the area.
That was fun.
Yeah. We have a comic book too.
Was magic not allowed at all? Like not even like cleric magic?
Well, it wasn't that it wasn't a. Is that
like,
Heather
like
or
healing
Vader asking?
power?
Is that Heather or Fader asking?
Heather.
It's not that magic wasn't allowed. It's that if you were doing magic, you were getting fucking swept up and thrown in the back of a cart.
Oh,
they were kidnapping him to
okay,
do the magic. So yeah.
So yes, it's not that it was it's not that it was bad. It's that it got weird.
Got it.
Actually, they did have mages and clerics and stuff before, which was the bad thing because that was common.
That was my confusion. I wasn't sure if he had meant before.
Yeah,
everything that went down.
Break is a relatively non-magical city, save religious and kind of clerical work. There's not a lot of like sorcery or wizardry study that's done here. It's not a very smart city, so to speak.
Okay.
Salt of the earth people, morons.
I wouldn't even go that far. Like it's not a particularly learning city. Is a much better way to put it.
Thank you, Gene Wilder.
Yes. I haven't watched that movie in forever.
It's my favorite movie. You should watch it again.
It's still really good. But yeah, it was not a scholarly city. Like it was a city of artisans, craftsmen, forges. As Jay put it, salt of the earth.
Blue collar.
Yeah, very much.
And heavily racist.
Blue collar.
So
yeah,
blue collar. But
also one.
Yes. Well, that's a whole different conversation. He kind of looks over all of you and says, "But that's the kind of the extent of my knowledge of you all. I was not aware that you become a comic book. I'm not even 100% familiar with what that is."
Nope.
Bam!
Just
and I show him.
it.
God damn it.
Oh,
he kind of
why?
takes it from you, Marleman, and goes, "Can I
You know why.
add this to the archives? This is..."
Oh, no.
No, you can't. In fact, I'm actually in talks with lawyers because there's a lot of not right things in here.
Yeah.
As you can tell, I'm a very intelligent person, and this book portrays me incorrectly.
We don't quite look.
Kind of hands it back to you and goes,
look exactly the same.
I grabbed the book and I quickly flipped one of the pages that has a really good example of Marleman being just the jackass, just the idiot, the fucking dunce. In fact, it's literally a part of the comic book where he magically has cast the dunce cap onto his own head.
Oh, good.
And I point to that and I say, "And that's not me."
I immediately followed by prestidigitation.
And then I take it and I shove it back in my bag very aggressively.
I am quite fascinated by this idea, though, of using a combination of pictures and words to convey stories. I'll need to think more on this.
really ahead of its time.
This was in Jerselheim.
Yeah,
it was. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Splendid. It sounds like
we visited there several times, so they were very familiar with our exploits.
You were saying something, Ryan?
Oh, now that you can trade with Jerselheim again, get 10,000 copies or something to give out around here.
I'm not sure.
God, we're gonna be Captain America propaganda.
Keep it up, Ryan. I'm gonna banish you. Keep it up.
I'm not sure we have the budget for that. You're muted, Greg.
Nope. Nope.
Funny enough, I said the exact sentence you just did.
But I will look into it. But it certainly sounds like you have had exploits throughout the continent.
We have
certainly
throughout the plains.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That is fascinating. Would you all like I forgive my rudeness, but you all like some tea, some water, anything like that?
Oh no, thank you. I'm good.
Whiskey,
I'm alright.
really much of anything we can offer.
Yeah, the priest's giving you booze. It's fine.
We're smoking reefer.
Why not?
I mean, what church did you go to again?
Yeah, I was about to say I went to a
Where
church
they
that gave
you
booze.
whiskey.
Well, they give you booze every Saturday evening and Sunday morning. So,
yeah,
this is your excuse today, drink adults. Drink from the same cup and share all of your germs.
It's a different time.
Enjoy this lukewarm, shitty wine. Have fun.
I mean, red wine is supposed to be served warm, so that's not
that's
weird.
not the issue. The issue is
Take
spot the
a lot of other things.
Still shitty. Regardless, if you do, please let me know. More than happy.
Of course.
He kind of like shifts around a little bit and pulls open a satchel that was kind of slung across his chair and pulls out like a relatively thick leather tome, as well as a quill, and says, please, tell me more of your exploits. I would absolutely love to add them to our archives here. Anything that you may have seen that no one else has seen.
I would ask before you record that we would appreciate discretion. Can you promise us that you wouldn't disseminate anything without our consent? Because there's certain things that we're doing that can't be public knowledge.
We have very difficult lawyers on retainers.
Awesome. He kind of closes the big book, puts that back in a satchel, and pulls out a much smaller tome. Kind of opens that and says, "This is my own personal archivings. Once you see it fit, I can add these to the main archives, so that way the future may learn of your exploits."
I will see real quick. Does this dude know about the robot? The Wikipedia robot?
No,
no one knows about
the that blow his damn mind.
No one knows about the Wikipedia robot.
That's made me like knee-jerk laugh out loud.
Right.
Like something that maybe no one's ever seen before. It's like, well, have you heard of this?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I'm pretty sure this dude would flip his shit at
one important question though.
What if he was really a priest of Ayun?
That he wouldn't disseminate this?
That he's actually taking our confidentiality and won't disseminate our
check.
Can we actually bring this guy down there?
No.
Did we? No. Good.
Yeah.
No, we didn't.
We did not bring this guy down there.
No,
we did not.
It was just us.
We can because I have it in my teleportation list.
I don't want to.
18.
No, 18. I absolutely don't want to bring this guy anywhere near the Wikipedia.
Seems completely genuine. Like, respects your guys' privacy. Respects
cool.
Again, he's also not really a priest of Ayun, so he may not even actually care.
Well, which is the other reason why I was looking for that. That was more of a like, would he not just use it in the archive? Like, would he talk about it at all?
No, not at all. Like, he seems like fully genuine of like this respect for secrecy, and like it both doesn't seem abnormal for him. Seems like this might be a kind of request that he's gotten in the past for reasons not really sure. But also that, I'll say that was a pretty good insight check, so I'll give you this as well. He seems to take even this like fake role of a priest of Ayun pretty seriously. Like, he seems genuine and like really on the ball about like wanting to learn more and add it to the archive and learn more.
He's been at it for 15 years. Makes sense.
Deep cover.
To make sure I'm understanding correctly, when Gary said season, he's been at it for 4 years, right?
Yes. He's been here in break for about 4 years.
I misheard seasons as years.
I did as well. So
when he said season.
Yeah, he arrived a little like way after you, Sai. I realized that after you asked.
Gotcha.
Back around. Yes, he's been here for about 4 years. I also remind you guys, he looks to be about 50, like a little over 50. He's an older guy.
I thought he was younger than that.
No, he's an older guy.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right. So Go for it.
I'm gonna double check, make sure no one's listening in, and just sort of.
We've been on a lot of journeys and we've been to a lot of places, but there's kind of like a driving force behind the decisions we make and the places that we go. So I don't even remember who revealed the prophecy to us. Emily's saying, I don't remember who told us first.
Titania?
Was it Titania?
Yeah,
I think because when we were transported to the Feywild.
Yeah, you got picked up when you were in a real bad state by Mac, and then brought over to the Feywild to get kind of introduced to everything.
Yes. So we have, like I said, journeyed between planes, and one of the planes that we've been to is the Feywilds.
Two things. One, Krem has successfully cultivated the skill to be able to write without looking, so he's like keeping very intense eye contact with you the entire time.
Okay.
Which is a little intimidating.
Yeah, terrifying.
Great skill.
It's
like
and
typing
B,
while looking up.
And B, when you say the Feywild, there is like a spark of curiosity in his eyes, but there's a very slight kind of furrow to his brow as well. Of he's starting to not. It's not that he doesn't believe you; it's that this already sounds a little too ridiculous to be real.
Yes.
All the more reason.
So we went to the Feywild, and there we spoke with. She's the queen of the Fey, right?
Yeah.
We spoke with the queen of the Fey, who revealed something to us. She spoke to us and revealed something to us that has really driven a lot of our decisions that we'd like to share with you if you would like to hear about it. Certainly.
I would be more than thrilled.
So she shared a prophecy with us. It sounded very far-fetched to us when we first heard it, and we had many questions. But over time, it's proven to be true that there are many integral people. How many? 9?
8.
8. That there are sort of 8 integral people out there in the world right now with a catalyst kind of hidden in them that they're unaware of, that when triggered has a lot of power. And there are some bad people in the world across the plains who are trying to take advantage of those people. And we've been trying to prevent those people from being hurt and keeping them safe and stopping catastrophe as a result of those bad people getting to those people from the prophecy first.
A respectable endeavor.
Thank you. It's been a lot of work. There's 8 people and we've only gathered 3 so far, but it has proven to be true, and we've traveled across plains and across continents and truly to hell and back to gather these people and keep them safe and keep the places they're from safe as we're doing that, because those places are in peril as well. Where the people of prophecy are, their homes and their locations are also in danger. So we've gathered 3 so far.
As you've continued, the furrow in his brow has gone away, and the curiosity in his eyes is much harder now, much more like driven into you. Whoever would like, please make an insight check of some kind.
Hell yeah!
I'm watching him like a hawk.
I was gonna say I've been keeping an eye out.
While Emily is saying this stuff, I want to be pouring whiskey in the back, just like, oh, this.
I'm back there with him already. Yeah.
Okay. 23.
Beats me.
I have
a good thing that I'm back there because I rolled a 2.
So Marlon and Armil are aggressively not paying attention.
At this point, I rolled a 2, so I'm aggressively not paying attention. I heard what the problem was there is like I was trying to pay attention, and then all of a sudden I heard the thump of the bottle, and it was like look in that direction. Just like,
ooh. All right. Phaedra, you can tell immediately that the curiosity is still there. It's the doubt that is gone. It seems like he just has a technique of like keeping that eye contact and keeping like kind of locked with a singular individual allows him to be able to sense truth in a very specific way. So as Nyx has continued the story and kind of like filled him in, and he has gotten more and more focused, like that little bit of reluctance at the beginning is now gone. He now has bought in fully to what you guys are saying. But there is also a deep, like, there's a tenseness and a stress to his like neck and shoulders as you say this. It seems to speak, unspokenly speak, why are you telling me this?
Yeah.
Yep.
He's a smart dude.
Pouring whiskey in the back.
yeah. He's trying to figure that shit out. We're just like
half of you seem like complete idiots.
Yeah.
The other half.
Nyx is at a.
This is why Nyx is telling the story.
Marleman is still paying attention to the conversation, I would say, but he's not trying to figure anything else about it. So when you can kind of tell that he's having that emotional response, I feel like Marleman's initial thing would be to try to coerce him, but not to be like, it's all you. So it would very clearly be like, we think you might have information that can help us.
Okay. So we'll continue with what Nyx was saying first, and then we'll circle back around on that.
Yeah.
So Nyx, what were you saying?
I think that she had last said that we had gathered 3 of the 8 people so far.
Yeah.
Those 3 people were in dangerous situations, and we were able to save their lives. We were able to avert a great disaster, and they're all safe now. They're staying right now in a safe place, but we're still seeking out the rest of the people in the prophecy to continue to ensure the safety of everyone, really.
And have you any information that could lead to these individuals? If you need to use the archives to do research, I'd be more than happy to open our doors and provide.
We do have.
Appreciate it, and we might take advantage of that because we have some leads, but we need to pinpoint a few things. However, we did come across some information that leads us to believe that you might be one of the people from the prophecy.
He kind of gives like a small smile and a small chuckle. That's a bold assertion. I'm sure I am nothing more than a old, broken down priest here. Not sure
this is exactly what I didn't want to have happen.
I'm not sure that a
one of them was a kid.
Saving.
Not sure what.
That just seems inappropriate and rude. I'm not sure that saving the world or being a part of greater things is in my future, though I appreciate the thought, I suppose. He kind of gets up from his chair. He kind of sets the tome down for a second, walks over to where you two have the bottle of whiskey, pours himself a smaller
I was gonna say,
glass of it.
I already had a cup ready for
I was
him.
going to say, one of us clearly already poured him a glass.
He looks at how much you guys have poured, hands it back to you and says, "Less, please. I'm a man of book."
Take the glass, pours a little bit into. We share the remaining half of what is left of it. Give it back.
No, seriously.
I was gonna say like I don't know. Maybe hang on to that.
In my experience, at least, it is seldom the people who go looking for it that hear the call to do great things.
And that is
And
certainly...
we don't know how people are chosen for this, so
no,
we don't know.
Far it's been very different people. The people we found so far, there's no real pattern to it that we can see. However, it has proved true 3 times already. We understand that that's a lot to take in, and we understand that you might not believe us. And the people that we've encountered so far, that we've helped so far, also didn't know who they were or how they were involved in this prophecy. And it took a while for it to become clear that it was true. And so I understand that you might not right away fully trust what we're saying, but know that we have truly been to hell and back.
2 seconds.
Do you need me to show you the comic book again?
No, I think I've seen enough of that.
You could say to clarify, you could say the hells and back.
What's the emotional status of this guy right now? Is he okay?
Give me 2 seconds.
I really didn't want to be like, hey, you might be one of them, because I feel like
we could have brought that up in the meeting before this. No, yeah,
right, yeah.
He's fine. He's a smart guy.
He has seen. He's a man of one of several cloths. He's seen some things.
He'll be fine.
Yes, and also because the situation, and this is why I think it was necessary to just be upfront with him, because the situation has largely already been resolved. We have no reason to stay there, and whatever thing could have triggered him while the event was happening didn't happen.
Yeah.
So, if we don't just come out
as far as we know,
at this point, yeah.
Well, I was just thinking it might be easier for us to get him there instead of
his perceived emotion.
Yeah, that was my only concern. I have no doubt that this is going to work. This is totally going to be fine. That was just a concern of mine. Was
yes, no, and again,
pushing a little too much. You know what I mean?
It's just Nick's as a person at this point is not front. You know what I mean?
Dude, just tell him everything. Yeah.
From what you can read off his emotional state, he's gone quiet for the most part. Just kind of smallly taking small sips of the glass in his hand. He hasn't sat back down yet.
Yep.
But he's more just listening. He's not outwardly arguing or trying to talk it down, but just
I just wanted to make sure he hadn't gone fully catatonic yet. It's a lot to handle. It seems it seems I don't.
He is slowly, just kind of quietly processing,
digesting what's been happening. Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna look at a couple of the others and kind of get the nodding to be should we go further?
We should do this. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if anything, he's clearly interested in learning. So let's continue down that pathway because we know that that's going to lead us to the best results.
I sort of wish, as I'm trying to think of a way that I could ask this to the group without him hearing.
As you guys are trying,
you probably could just say it, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Well, I would. His back's to us, right?
Yeah, he's kind of looking away out one of the smaller windows.
Over the whiskey area, so maybe I can kind of lean over and whisper to Sai, is there a way that we can show him the Fey Wilds?
I give kind of a shrug, but then I surreptitiously kind of make a bird motion with my hand.
Bird?
You'll get there.
I don't know if I will.
Something we know about him.
Oh yeah. We're getting there.
Well, all right. If you saw it and you do,
I know what you're referring to.
I know what you're referring to. I just don't know how it applies. Which partially Emily and partially Nick's the religion stuff is just whoa.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Gary, you were gonna say something as you were doing that.
I was just saying, he's gone incredibly quiet. Just one of those lot to process, lot to take in sort of moments. He's also somewhat absentmindedly like drumming on his left leg with his free hand. The other hand is holding the kind of glass. Before he turns around and looks at you all and says, "This is heavy information, as I'm sure you're all aware." Yes. And while I appreciate your forwardness and your upfront nature to all of this, I struggle with the idea that this could be what you say it to be. I would ask that you give me a few hours to process, and I would ask that you reconsider, if at all possible. But from what you've told me, I'm sure that's not quite the case. Yes, I see it. I'm getting to it. I was literally mid-speech of a character.
I know. I just wanted to, before you got any further, I wanted to make sure you saw the message.
I'm just going to remind you, that thing that you want to do turns your eyes glowing white.
My eyes are already white.
I know, but like they don't glow.
Okay. That's why I was saying, like, as inconspicuously as possible.
Yeah, you cast it. You look.
Okay.
I'll let you guys figure out what I'm going to type something to Heather, and then you guys can figure out how you would like to respond.
Honestly, I would probably just say to him, like, you know, you can take a little bit of time, but the longer that you're here, the more in danger Break is. You know, like, I don't know. I feel like that's our angle. Anyway.
If we were able to figure it out, someone else might be. You know.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
And that's a totally valid approach. Like, Theramel's right.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he saw what happened here. This is why it happened.
I mean,
you know?
I intentionally did not explicitly say
it was you
that what happened to Break was necessarily a result of that, but I did other cases had a hard time because the person of prophecy was there.
I'm thinking the point got across.
I think he's smart enough that he probably, seemingly from this conversation, he seems like wise enough that he probably connected those dots, but I didn't want to explicitly say it.
Yeah, but I mean, I think we gotta say, like, you know, you could take a little bit of time to like collect yourself, but like the longer you stay here, the more dangerous it is for the people.
Yeah,
Break.
and I mean the other thing is, again, I don't know what the Raven thing has to do with whether or not he sees the Feywild, but
as an insight, that was more of like if you at all doubt the veracity of our information, we know more about you than we think.
Oh, I see. Yeah. That was your angle.
Oh, geez.
Again, not an angle.
We know that the Raven Queen, has also had connection with both the person who put us on this quest and gave us the information, and the person we're actively working against.
Yeah.
So if he's not directly involved, the Raven Queen certainly is, or at least might be.
Again, like
yeah,
Nyx,
that's not a bad idea.
Like that Nyx doesn't process that kind of thing, you know. But you definitely, Sai understands that, so I could say that.
I was just making sure people were comfortable with that information coming out.
Okay. Oh boy.
Does Phaedra do anything?
You hear me cough very briefly, but very inconspicuously in response to something.
Okay. In a way that you want our attention?
I'm going to wait to see how the conversation goes, but I'm also going to turn the true sight off as soon as I can, just to be, like, inconspicuous. Like, just kind of a quick, like...
Well, he farted and you know now.
It's detective!
Alright.
Okay. You do that.
Christ.
He kind of looks over all of you and says, "Is that agreeable? Could you give me some time?"
We can give you some time.
We can return in a few hours.
We can return. We ultimately would like to I just want to be clear. I don't want anything to be a surprise really at this point. That we would like to take you to see where the other people that we've met so far are. If you would like.
I will consider that. I would love to see more of this world that I have not seen.
Okay.
And I will ask just if we know, it's possible other people may know, please be careful.
Yeah.
Of course. I will.
I
will not be leaving this building.
Okay. Do I insight believe him?
Roll an insight check.
Okay. 15.
Hard to read. Seems honest.
All right. Cool. All right. Yeah.
Just for the record, a reminder that they're like hidden doors or whatever can't hide from us.
No, this is not.
Okay.
He's about to just try and walk out the front door. This guy.
No, I don't think he will. I was just making sure that it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you all, he gestures you all out. He lets you keep the glasses, which is very nice of him.
Souvenir glasses, nice.
Yeah, so those of you with
they break on him.
Yeah, so that those of you with the whiskey can continue sipping on it as you walk.
Next time we come back, we get a refill.
I went to break and all I got were these Ioun glasses.
It's up to us, Sai, actually. I believe we get to make those now. That's how it works.
Okay.
We said it's fine. It's fine.
He kind of waves you all out and heads back inside. A look of deep contemplation on his face as he heads into the back. I assume the moment you guys are through the doorway and like 15 feet away, Phaedra is vibrating with information.
Okay. Can we find a place where no one can overhear us, please?
Yeah, I don't know where that is, but
honestly,
yeah,
I think we watch these guys.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I'm not going far. I'm watching him until you guys come back.
I was actually thinking a step further than that, depending on what you say.
Okay. All right, I'll just try to be very, very quiet.
Wait.
Yeah,
which you've proven to be very good at.
Let me turn into some type of animals that is like pretty common around here. Like I don't know if there's like cats or rats or.
Well, not a chicken, please.
There definitely were cats and rats at some point in time.
So, let's just turn around the corner. I will stay at the edge, watching the door, invisible.
Okay.
Easily done. You guys are in a nice quiet alley, not too far.
I still want
to
turn into a cat.
All right, you turn into a cat.
Word.
You're a nice green cat in the snow.
Like Beast Boy.
Like how fluffy are you?
Well, mildly fluffy.
Okay.
Enough for the winter.
Tasteful, nice.
Yeah,
a
tasteful fluff.
Knows that it's winter, and he's not going to yell at anyone.
All right.
Phaedra.
Okay. All right. So Trev messaged me and said, "Hey, use True Sight, dumbass." Basically, but nicer.
I was nicer than that.
No, I know.
I forgot you can do that.
I know, me too. Apparently, that's more. Heather hasn't played D&D in a while. He's a dragon.
Okay.
He's specifically a bronze dragon.
Damn, you must be hype.
Okay.
I'm very. Yeah.
So
yeah, he's.
Or do we just know this now?
Say again?
I said, does this change anything, or is it just that we know this now?
I mean,
perhaps it changes the way we approach things.
That and the idea that he's just a humble layman of a deity and that he's not capable of doing things. He's
that
not
also
just some
means
broken down old man.
he's hella magic, also, because
Guys are probably way older.
Yep.
dragons can change their appearance.
He also might
to
be
look-
mad at us because we just killed a dragon.
Eh.
It's a little.
No.
I
You'd be
that
okay with that.
enough of you know this that I feel comfortable saying it. The difference between metallic and chromatic dragons is
He's a good dragon.
massive.
He's not
He's
not
a
a
nice
takeover.
dragon.
He's not a take over your town dragon. He's a
You said
sneak around and
bronze,
get all your
right?
knowledge dragon, which actually makes sense.
What's
Right,
the
he's
chromatic
hiding.
equivalent?
Because if
He's
he's
like
hiding,
our other friend dragon.
We have another.
he's not
yeah,
gonna
we do.
necessarily.
Quentin is a dragon as well,
Yes,
Right.
Quentin is also a dragon. Quentin was
Is-
an iron dragon specifically.
Yeah.
which is also cool,
Cool.
as shit.
It's the head of the puppers.
But yeah, he was missing a. I'm just gonna read what Gary sent me so I can tell all of you. The shadow you see around this individual is gargantuan. This close, it's hard to fully grasp the size of the scaly body, missing a left leg that you see before you. The coiled nature and the condensed nature throws you off, but you quickly collect yourself. Much like Quentin, this is a dragon, specifically bronze.
Okay.
Quentin,
So
didn't he leave looking for somebody?
Yes, he did.
His
he say who?
mate?
His mate.
Did he
So
specify
what-
what kind of dragon it was? I don't remember. I don't think he did.
He would
I think
have
he just
told
said
you. If
dragon.
I believe he would have told you. His mate's a silver dragon. This is not the
Silver
same.
dragon. Okay. Cool. All right. Cool.
Okay, so I mean, I don't believe this fundamentally changes anything. It might.
No, but good to know.
It's,
I mean-
it's definitely good to know, but
Oh.
It
Like-
changes everything from my perspective of like the guy I was planning on standing outside this building and making sure a dude doesn't leave. That's a lot harder now.
I'm gonna duck into.
It's a lot harder.
is he like glamored? Like what?
Dragons can
illusions?
shapeshift into humans or humanoid. We saw that with Quentin. They can change their
That's
appearance.
true.
Yeah. So if this dude like wants to say "fuck you" to us and peace out, there's very little we can do about that. So that
Well, but
does
then
change
he
the
would have
texture of the
to-
situation quite a bit.
Then he would
Yeah.
have to leave as a dragon, though.
Not necessarily. He could
probably
potentially.
is his ability to polymorph.
I mean,
He
we
can be
also
from
know.
anything from a person to an animal.
Also we know that now, so we know that if we tried to use physical force to stop him from leaving, he would turn into a fucking dragon, and we definitely don't want
Glad
that.
we decided not to do that.
Yeah.
Like, I think it does change a lot about how we can afford to approach this. Like, it's very, no, it was already a touchy subject, but it's kind of more of one now.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on.
What?
Remembering back to Wikibot,
Mm.
when we asked who the one in Break was, he identified it as Krem, who is located in the Temple of Ayun
Mm-hmm.
and is a servant of the Raven Queen.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Was a race given?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, so far, all true.
Right. So my only
Bet
question was if
1,000.
he was masking as somebody else who's also real and just, but
Yeah, that
this
was
doesn't go
wrong.
that deep.
Isn't
Awesome.
it
Okay.
weird? Isn't it? Is it a little weird that a dragon worships the Raven Queen and not like one of the dragon deities?
Not
Is that
necessarily.
unusual?
I will remind you that the phrasing that Wikibot used, as I correctly just pointed out, is a servant of the Raven Queen.
Oh, got it. Cool.
So
Still weird.
again, polytheistic, like metallic dragon probably probably worships
But
Bahamut,
he's also kind of a lawful
Bahamut.
good dickhead a bit.
Bahamut,
isn't he?
whatever. Too much.
Kinda-
Nah,
Bahamut is not strong on this continent, so you wouldn't
Yeah.
really have a
Okay.
great feeling. Like
Fair
Tiamat and Bahamut are not,
Tiamat evil. That much
True.
I know.
but
and you
At
know
the
that there
same
are
time, just because-
worshippers of Tiamat here because they're the ones who took Quentin.
Right.
that was something else I was going to bring up. But
But in general, draconic presence is not strong on this continent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we
So-
run into most of them.
yeah,
Honestly, yes.
so the servants of Tiamat, do we have any reason to believe that they would be in league with the Queen of Air and Darkness?
I have to pee real quick, so you guys kind of
Mhm.
Okay.
Talk amongst yourself for a second.
Maybe
Well,
that'll
we
be
could,
like,
but I mean,
we'll
but
get
then
him on our
that's
side.
but then that's do we want to reveal to him that we true sighted and know that he's a dragon?
Yeah,
I mean, we
that
could also.
is not a great idea either.
I mean, if we know he's a servant of the Raven Queen, and we're trying to show him that our intel is of quality sources and that we actually know what we're talking about, so you should probably listen to us, or at least give us a leg up on that, to say we know things about you and we're totally cool with them because we want you to be with us.
Yeah.
Which is my whole point about
to be
revealing
fair,
the Raven
in this
Queen
case, I mostly just wanted to true sight so we didn't get tricked again.
No,
hey, here's all this information that we have. Oh,
Bro,
you're not who we. Okay, whoops.
I'm so glad you did that. I'm so
Right, that
glad.
was the rationale behind me asking. Was
Yeah,
I've
I was
had it
like,
up to
wait a
here
minute,
with glamours in
minute.
this fucking town.
Which again was part of the insight check of like, are you gonna tell anybody this? Are you gonna? But
Yeah.
I can't be like, are you gonna be faithful to us? That's a little too much.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, so my question before: do we have any reason to believe that the Tiamat worshippers are at all in league with the Queen?
Oh, well, I'm trying to remember how much Phaedra knows about Tiamat versus what Heather knows about Tiamat.
And also
Yeah.
reminding Heather that what Heather knows about Tiamat might not be relevant to the world that we are playing in.
Correct.
Very
yeah.
fair.
Well, because a lot
Gary
of what
can write whatever he wants.
Well, yeah. It's just I'm trying to remember what we encountered with Tiamat previously, other than they were after Quentin. But we don't
What
know
did I miss
Yeah.
anything?
if that had anything to do with our current
What's the last
quest.
thing you
or
heard?
just
What?
Morgan. What
What's
was
the last thing you heard?
We were trying to get.
Around the
I honestly
corner?
don't remember.
Were we trying to get to a quiet
Phaedra-
place to talk, or had we already?
I heard that he was a dragon.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
We're just figuring out what to
Then you're
do with that
basically up to
information.
speed.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
the important thing to affirm. Right now, we're just kind of discussing like the
What that
realm
means
of
to
that
us.
and how to handle it going forward.
Yeah.
Oh, you got your Marleman figure.
Oh, mine's upstairs. Did
Oh,
anybody
you got
else's
yours?
come with a lot of like what looks like paint rub off in faded places?
No,
A little
like
bit.
Yes,
I
definitely.
chose mine washed, so that's why mine's a little like paler and more pastel. But I know I made
Okay.
that choice.
Yeah, some of the 3D painting isn't as vibrant as you think it is.
Oh, I mean, like places where it's like color model color.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
weird. Yeah, no, I
I'll
don't really see
try to
that.
take pictures of it and show you guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only thing that's a little weird about
They
mine
came
is
out
like
dope.
it's hard to do, so I can't imagine it would be any better than this unless somebody was going at it with a sable brush. But it's like his eyes are a little weird. But
Oh
that's
yeah,
just-
the eyes are just
It's
like
literally a
wild.
pinprick of a size.
Yeah.
Like I would never. Everything
Yeah.
else about him looks amazing.
So I put
love
shades
this
on
little
mine.
guy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why you did it.
The only reason.
Anyway, so with this new information, have you guys settled on what we would like to do?
On here.
I mean, knowing this, I think we just kind of have to give him his head, and he's gonna decide what he's gonna decide. All we can do is come back, have somebody at least watching the place from the outside to let us know if something happens. But otherwise, just come back in a couple hours and see what he does.
Okay.
Yeah.
See what he says.
I mean, I can try and stay, and I can activate True Sight again using an actual spell slot this time instead of my tattoo, and just keep an eye in case anyone comes or goes, and it's him.
How long does that last for?
An hour.
Okay. What do you guys think?
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Let me double check, make sure that is actually correct.
it
I'm
does
pretty
last
sure
an hour. Yes.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna
is
say
fine.
it's an hour.
Okay. So is just Phaedra staying? Are you all staying in the alley? Like, what are you doing?
I'll stay as cat.
Okay.
I'll stay.
Word.
Marleman's cat. Sorry, Armel's a cat.
Swing and a miss. There you go.
Is there only the one entrance in and out, or are there multiple entrances to cover?
Of the temple, you've only seen the one entrance.
Okay.
I mean, if he wants to hop out a window, he can.
Yeah, fair. I'll watch the
But-
front entrance then, I guess.
Okay. Hours passed. No one,
Nothing?
like some other priests come in and out, as well as some like families of the sick who are being taken care of there. But no sign of him, no sign of anyone in the hour that you have the true sight up. There's no sign of anyone else in a glamour. It's just quiet. Seems quiet.
So, if everyone's okay with it, I'd say we wait for about 3 hours.
Okay.
I can... Hold on. Let me see how many times I can do this.
Because let's be honest, if he was going to leave, he would probably leave within the first hour.
I
So,
would
I
guess
know
so.
We've already done it.
I can do this two
Yeah.
more times if you want me to continue using the true sight. Oh, Papa! Hello, Papa!
I feel like just
I don't particularly see much of a point in
Yeah.
doing so. I mean, like, if he
He's
tries
either
to
there or
leave
not.
and you see that he is, what is your plan?
Hadn't thought that far, just so far, just
I
to
mean-
know if he left or not.
I guess the only plan would be to
doing?
confront him and
Oh,
say,
bandit.
listen,
Yup.
you know, we really want to discuss this further, and we think there's more to it than what you think. But
We're gonna
if
go back
he's
and
set
talk
on
to him
leaving, yeah, exactly. Either he's going to be there or he's not. In which case, we still have to find him.
now. Mhm.
Mhm.
What kind of situation we find him in is variable.
Mhm.
So you guys wait
And
for 3 hours. Sun is starting to go down by the time you walk back up to the door. The temple doors are still open, so you're able to push your way in. It's quieter inside now. It's still busy, but it is just kind of generally quieter as night is beginning to fall. One of the clerics there kind of direct you to the back again and says he is awaiting your return. He seemed preoccupied in a way that I have not seen Brother Krem. Is he all right?
He's
In
a
a
very
manner of
smart
speaking.
man, and I believe he has a lot in his head.
I
So-
imagine it's taking a lot out of him to care for these people.
Mhm. So many people.
We have
It's
offered
been,
what help we could.
It's been quite a change. But yes, you're free to go. Do you all just head right into the back?
Thank you. Well, knock on the door. If there's a door separating,
Yeah.
we'll knock first.
There's no door.
Okay.
He
We'll
is,
announce our presence, I suppose.
He's actually still standing at the same window that you guys had left, that he was looking in out when you guys had left previously. Kind of turns upon your arrival, looks over all of you and says, I believe we have much more to discuss.
That's fair.
Indeed.
And I
Would
feel
you-
that here may not be the correct place for it.
My next question.
Where would you?
Is there a more secure place that we can go?
We have an airship.
Yeah.
3 options. We have the
Great.
airship, we have the longhouse, we have my house.
Let's go where the least people are, shall we?
Airship?
Airship? Yeah.
Likely the
airship.
ship.
Airship
Very well.
outside of town.
He bundles up a small, very small bundle, puts on a heavier coat over his robes, and follows you all out of the city to where the Tony Hawk is parked.
I
Landed,
remember what I forgot to say in the beginning of this.
which is
It was very simple. I would just ask, once the airship had landed,
Mhm.
that we just have a garrison of militia just keeping an eye on the airship at all times.
Oh, sure.
Just like
there is 100%
so
guards
nobody fucks
available.
with it.
Yeah, there's 100% guards available,
Yeah.
both because people would be gawking at it anyway, so that was just
Yeah.
sort of an assumed.
Okay.
But upon
But
your
our people.
Yeah. Upon your arrival, they kind of all disperse and head back, or like kind of keep some distance, knowing you guys probably want some privacy, especially with this strange older priest with you. He kind of gingerly makes his way up the ladder onto the ship. Kind of looks around and says,
We've got to build a ramp.
I can't say that I've been on an airship before. This is a fascinating vessel.
It is. It's cool.
We thought so.
Yes. Makes travel far easier, I'm sure.
Yes, air travel is definitely the way to go.
Things are much simpler when you can fly.
Yes. Shall we stop beating around the bush here?
I would appreciate that.
He kind of settles onto a bench and kind of looks at you, Phaedra, and goes, do you realize that when you do the thing that you did before, that your eyes flash and your forehead glows blue? But with an eye there. It's a very, very obvious.
Subtlety has never been her strong suit.
That's true. But to be fair, we got tricked one other time with a glamour. So we wanted to make sure that you weren't a bad guy in disguise.
And how do you know I'm not?
Because you're not.
We don't yet.
Well, fair, I suppose.
We're taking a hell of a chance.
But the last time I had to use True Sight, that saved us a lot of time.
It saved the city as well, for what it's worth.
That's true. Yeah, it was
Yeah, we are trusting you greatly with these things, as you can imagine. So we're willing to offer you
no offense to you. I was just making sure you weren't somebody who had replaced you.
He kind of leans backwards and looks out over kind of the landscape, specifically in the direction of Break, just kind of looking at the city. Before he says, the leaf embedded in stone, the spark lost to the waves, the scale stuck in time, the pebble adrift on the wind. I assume that's the prophecy you were all referring to previously.
So you've heard
Can't hear you, Jason.
Heard it, I wrote it.
Nice.
You wrote it?
This saves us a hell of a lot of time. Okay.
All right.
It is
what were you
true.
getting at the time?
It is true with what you say. Oh, it's true what they say. No matter how far you run and how long you wish history to forget you, your own history comes back.
Are you running from the past? I mean, that'd save us some time too.
Yeah, yep. Mm-hmm. I mean, you did just say it out loud. I'm just,
kind of looks at you.
I'm not normally the thinker in these things.
Can I say that Nick actually kind of tactfully says I take it we might have met this time.
In truth, I am not, although it is nice of you to think.
Holy shit.
God damn it.
I'm going to take that away from you.
Try it.
Can you get the dramatic gopher or whatever sound effect too?
I've got something close, but it's not quite the same.
It is amazing.
Not quite the same.
He kind of looks at you, Nix, and says, "No, although it would make some amount of sense, wouldn't it? No. Even back when I created this prophecy, warning, whichever way you'd like to take it. No, that had existed far before me." Kind of settles in, looks at all of you, and says, as you would rightfully imagine, my name is not Krem. That's a moniker I have used for some time now, and have quite settled into the role. No, have quite settled into the role.
Just sorry to interrupt you. Is or was there a Krem?
Oh, no, I don't believe so. I would assume whatever pointed the information at my direction is referring to me. It's the name I've used for long enough that I am Krem, but I am also not.
Of course. Please continue.
My name is Orias. I am Once I was known as Arias the Blight. Once I was known as Arias the Gold. And once I was just known as Arias.
Haven't we heard that name?
You have.
Wasn't it in like the? Oh, I thought it was the thing around the sword. Like
you are correct.
Yeah.
Well done.
What is it?
There was the whole like lore around my sword that we learned in the Hells that had like people and stuff.
One
I
of
believe
the
it was
only
that.
name of a binder that you were familiar with was a name that was said
Arias.
when it was Arias.
There we go.
Oh, so he's
Bearing the icon
fourth
of
person we
IU,
didn't know.
motherfucker.
I would like
It's
I would like the
really-
records to show that was like a year ago.
It is really funny to me that you guys had openly said, "Oh, right, there was that fourth one that like had the Ioun thing, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, guys have never really figured out who that was."
Yes. I had a thought, but again, I'm too like Dragon Age, Dungeons and Dragons religion stupid to like.
No. Like
You're not You are not Dragon Age religion stupid, Emily.
In fact, for most of that conversation, I was thinking about the comparative ways in which Dragon Age just totally ripped some of their religion lore from this. But
I mean, they just grew up with it.
Yeah,
exactly. Like, I mean, they've never fronted that they were just making a Dungeons and Dragons later. Like that's what it is.
100%. That's great,
and we all love it. Or
So yeah, all right, that's a whole other line of questioning, then, isn't it?
I've quite enjoyed my time here as Krem. You have a beautiful city, but I suppose now it's time for me to retake my position in history.
Why did you leave your position in history?
Things change quickly over the course of a millennia, and eventually I thought my time had come. I truly did. Just to fade into obscurity and let the more willful members take their positions.
So it's not just there have been other people previously in the prophecy. It hasn't been just this is when all of them show up sort of thing?
No, there are the 8 prophesized through every time of history. It's kind of gestures at his own chest. A cycle, if you will. I've simply kept my foothold in the cycle longer than others.
Fair.
Have I done this before? My boy, I was at the beginning.
He's a dragon.
So I have many questions, but I'm going to try and prioritize them. So when you say that you wrote the prophecy, and also taking into consideration that you're saying that this is a cycle, that this kind of like is always happening. So does that mean that you have always been a part of the cycle, or that sometimes you're part of the cycle?
Oh, I have always been a part of the cycle.
Okay, so you're always a part of the cycle. So you became aware of the cycle then. And
I was at the start of the cycle, I think is the easiest way to put it. The cycle was born out of my actions. Long did I think the fingers of history would drag me down and remove me, but now I know why. You say that it was Titania who put you on this path, correct?
She didn't.
She's the one that first informed us of the prophecy, yes.
That old bitch using my own words against me. What do you know?
She's really good at that, right?
She really is. You all have no idea. You should have known her when she was a mortal.
Take off my left gauntlet and vambrace and show him the mark of Oberon. And be like, I've dealt with them.
If she knew that you were part of it, why didn't she just send
It's never that easy.
There's a reason there's a reason I have faded into obscurity.
Okay, well...
It's never that easy with Fey royalty, Phaedra. Come on.
I have to ask, has our coming to you with this put you in danger?
Oh, dramatically, but it's no helping it now. The more you know.
For that, I'm sorry.
I mean, if you haven't noticed, the fucking, like, barriers between planes are starting to break a little, so...
Yeah, I would feel worse if...
No, sorry to interrupt your me time.
I am sorry to do it. It changes nothing, and if I had known, I would do it again.
Yep.
I respect that, and I've long wondered if the rumblings I have heard have been the movement of she and she. He kind of gestures at you, Trev, when he says the second she.
I figured.
Yeah.
No, when you all arrived in my nice, quiet temple a few weeks ago, I knew that something had changed and that it was time to retake my place.
Well, I'm grateful that you've been honest with us now. And I'm grateful that you seem to be understanding the gravity of the current situation in in the big scheme of the big cycle.
And I would make a case that he probably understands it better than any of us. However, I'm glad you're playing along.
I was about to say, I believe that it is you who may not understand the gravity of the task you are putting forth, or has been put forth to you. You see, there are... forgive an old man for going back to the beginnings.
I like the world sit down cross-legged in front of him, like
barking.
That did.
Pardon an old man.
So you see a tail whip out from under the no. At this point, he does like
excessively loud.
Yeah, he kind of settles himself against the barrel.
Petulance belies his true appearance.
Oh, raw cow that I ate 800 years ago.
Best one yet.
Oh, Lord, you try and do something serious.
Yeah, but we're the problem solvers.
I know. It's the problem creators. Assholes.
That's our true nature.
I think you broke Greg.
Yeah, 100%. He kind of settles against a barrel, looks at you, Marleman, and says, let's go back to your founding, shall we? Oh. Back in my youth, back when the world was nice and simple, yet so much more chaotic,
and a little more racist.
Not actually. No, the racism came later. You'd be surprised.
Yeah, humans really no.
The separating of the species got weird at a certain point there, but not the point. Back when I was but a whelp, a group of individuals with ideas of grandeur got in their heads that you could control things that no one should truly control due to the injustices that those things would bring against the world. Why is it that we simply shrug and look away when an earthquake ravages a village? Why is it that we just sort of take it as normal when a great column descends from the sky and lifts entire families away? It's cruelty created by nature. So it was decided that perhaps we can do something about that. We were wrong, of course. But when you're young and impetuous as we were, you try just about anything. We gathered up a band of people who believed in our idea that the world should be ours to control, and we made it a little easier to control. I didn't know what that would do. I still am frightened of the idea of what that did. You see, once you make the choice and achieve, to a certain extent, an exertion and control over nature itself, you become intoxicated with what you can and cannot control. One of us was in firm belief that her knowledge and wisdom and ability to dream would lead the world into a brighter, freer tomorrow. Her sister, on the other hand, was much more interested in allowing people to live their lives as they saw fit, as long as they didn't stray too far from their own morality. And then there was Pierce. Sorry, her name is long lost to those of you who would know her better as the Mistress of Death herself, who was certain that the great injustice of nature came at the end and that she could do something to ease that. That's why I'm still here. I think it's her great joke, truthfully, at my expense. She always was a very fascinating individual. Between the three of them, as you are probably aware, one achieved, got to her goal. The other two were so caught between bickering that freedom meant control and control meant freedom, and the various things in between those ended up spawning into their own bickering, and they brought me back in as a friend to both to try and ease their argument before one went too far and needed to be put away. You see, there's always been individuals of grandeur. Even at the time, there was those who had more power than probably need be. The 8 that I wrote about. You bring those individuals together and you could do anything. You could destroy a god. You see, that's the power that you're all playing with. 8 souls together with enough strength between them to do anything. Truly anything. So, knowing my own role and knowing my own space and knowing what had to be given up for certain reasons, I hid away. Removed myself from the history books, faded away into obscurity, and let the world pass me by. Hoping that one day things would change and I'd be given a great gift. But here we are.
What did you think would change?
He kind of lifts the robe over his left leg. And at this point, you can see the wooden prosthetic that sits there. It's beautiful, like truly beautiful. As he kind of gestures at it and says, "This wound should have killed me long ago, but I'm still here. I'm loath to show you my full grandeur at this point, but
That might be bad in the airship, honestly.
yes, I both don't want to crush your beautiful airship, and it is truly beautiful. And I would also not like, and he kind of points a break, that to do what it will do.
They've been through a lot lately.
Exactly. But I have a similar, albeit more, let's just say I've been grounded for a long time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To become one with death itself, one must give up everything that is to be mortal. To fully understand that all things come to an end. And in order to do that, I have been given a great gift that I will never be reacquainted with death. So here I am.
So you've watched, I guess, other people, right, join the cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And
I've even met a few of them. Wonderful people.
Mm-hmm. But you've always been a part of the cycle.
I will be there at the beginning, and I will be there at the end.
Has the prophecy ever come to fruition?
Always understanding like the god references and stuff. When he says like the mistress of death, he means like diamond.
He means the
No,
Raven Queen.
The Raven Queen.
The Raven Queen is the Raven Queen
So-
is the mistress of death.
Okay.
The Queen of Air and Darkness is the sister of Titania, the one who wanted to give true freedom to everybody by exerting full control over them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know.
You know.
Okay.
Because what is true freedom but the ability to not, have to think for yourself?
Okay.
Stick it up, y'all.
Yes, exactly.
So unlike the other members of the prophecy who are like reincarnated or rechosen, you're just always.
I am the dimly set sun. I will be here forever.
I have a
Seem to lament that.
I mean, it's not a choice I would make, nor was it a choice made for me.
Have you ever glowed?
You mean the fun radiance, as it's actually referred to?
Listen, yes.
I would suppose that in my place in the prophecy, I am glowing now, although you probably cannot see it because, again, this is not how I look.
Uh-huh.
If the prophecy is fulfilled, wouldn't you be free from the cycle?
I'm not sure, because that kind of power, that kind of ability to rewrite the very fabric of the world itself is something that has both never been done since the last time it was done, and also too much for anything with some amount of agenda. I understand that you all work in conjunction with Titania.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you, is it normally Titania that sends people to you to...
Well, you're the first to find me, so well done on that.
Hey!
Not sure how you did it, but...
Well, that answers my question.
Yeah, also, do you think it's weird that Titania is asking? Because I kind of always felt a little weird just handing over all these people to Titania.
Yep.
Just me.
No, not just you.
Are we...
I don't know about that.
I can't remember if we're...
Like the guy who follows Titania.
I forget. Are we just trying to keep them protected, or are we supposed to bring them together to fulfill the prophecy?
That's what I'm concerned about.
It's never been very explicit to you.
My understanding, at
Great.
least, was we're to
Cool.
fulfill the prophecy to keep her locked up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying this to him. Is that incorrect?
Right.
I mean, it is certainly one way to do things. And with the ways that it would appear that kind of looks at you, Trav, and says, "Apologies, I know no other way." It would appear that the ways that Mab has learned how to get around the various boundaries we've placed around her, it would do well to re-strengthen things and do more with it, but either way, it doesn't go well.
What do you mean?
Well, the last few that individuals that I interacted with who were a part of the cycle were being led by individuals of the previous order. It is interesting to me now that you all are being driven by the other side.
That's what I'm saying.
Listen, I know nothing of what her scheming or what her motivations may be. I truly don't. I only know what I have known for thousands of years. And that's if you give a Fae strong power, their first notion, for the most part, is to wield that power in the way that they see fit.
Well, at this point now, some of the people that we've met, we care very much for. So, regardless of how this goes, I want to keep them safe.
And I as well. I have no... Well, it may be easier, let's say, to reset the cycle, send everything back to the beginning, and make sure that the people that could be in the cycle are more easily hidden away and less easily brought together. I believe that the time for hiding is over.
I would agree.
Indeed.
I guess that means, is there a safeguard that we can ensure that this power is used for one means and one means only, and that Titania can't do with it what she wills?
I do not, unfortunately. Once all 8 are brought together, their essences will... It's quite... What's the best way to phrase it? The 8 as part of the cycle are all essences of the same ideal. So once those essences come together as one, they tend to overrule much of anything else around it. So if the individual there is in firm control of the situation, they will direct that power in whatever way they see fit. But if they're allowed to be manipulated, be told that for one reason or another, they are purity, which means they can be fooled. It is not conscious, that power.
Yeah.
It's more...
Well, that's clear. Yeah.
It's more directionless in that way. So if that power is handed to one individual, they will do with it what they wish. What safeguards you may need to come up with, I'm not sure. But the easiest answer that I can give you is that I will not be traveling with you to the Feywild yet.
Understandable.
Again, I understand. And again, I appreciate that you've chosen to be honest with us about all of this, because it's immensely helpful for us. Is there a way to sort of just disperse the prophecy, to just kind of untie that knot and just let it go?
Not sure. Hasn't happened yet. I'm not sure if it will happen in the future. As I said, all throughout history, they have been great individuals. Even ending this cycle, who knows what may continue forward or anything like that, truthfully.
Well,
How
before
did
we
you...
discuss... Sorry, go on.
How did you... what were the circumstances that led you to creating the prophecy in the first place, or having it, or...
He kind of smiles smallly and says, human souls, not human souls, apologies, mortal souls that have crossed through the divine gate and back.
At the end of the sentence.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm like,
just
waiting
before
for
the sentence.
the end of it. Okay.
When there were 8 of us that transgressed into the realm beyond understanding and returned with the power needed to seal away the evil that was seeping through the world, both of them into their respective cages. As such, that power is neither created nor lost. It just continues endlessly until it is returned back from where it was taken. Now, if you're asking me, have I figured out a way to return the essence of 8 mortal souls to beyond the divine gate? I don't. I genuinely don't, because each time that one of them is freed, that essence stays here. It has not gone with the soul to the beyond. So I don't know.
But theoretically, so you have never, the 8 of you, since the prophecy has kind of, and the cycle has kind of like really started, the 8 of you have never been together all at once. No, we all realized that the power the 8 of us wielded as one should never be used by by a singular presence, so to speak. And as I mentioned previously, there's no consciousness, there's no awareness. The only reason that we were able to achieve what we hoped to achieve was the intervention of something beyond this.
Forgive the crudeness of the analogy. The 8 of you are players in an orchestra.
Exactly.
And the power is directed by whoever's conducting.
Exactly.
So the solvable question becomes, how do we ensure that the conductor has the right intentions?
Or fuck that. Let's not put the orchestra together.
Well, but
so
if
we can't
put together, they'll just keep dying and being reborn, and they'll keep being a threat.
More immediately, if we don't put the orchestra together and
the cycle's
use the
going to
power for
continue
this,
in one way or another.
Not even that. Mab will be released.
Because she's trying to put the orchestra together.
No, she has found. So what he is saying
some
is
other
that,
way.
she has found a different way. She has realized that the thing you guys realized before, that the like large amount of energy that is moving back and forth between the divine gate in these specific points are breaking down the walls between the barriers, like the barriers between dimensions itself or planes themselves. So they are using death, literal death, to like punch microscopic holes into the shroud between various places.
Right.
The way that
thinks that we can get this orchestra together and they can play a beautiful song and close it all
We
out.
don't know what Titania is thinking.
I don't know what Titania is thinking, but that's what.
That was basically the stated impression, and we've been allowed to think that. We've just parts of this conversation have led to people further traveling, either starting to or going further down the path of not potentially trusting her.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I ever.
I never trusted her.
Yeah, trusted is strong. It wasn't. outwardly antagonistic most of the time. So
trying to pillows.
My trust in her is that she is diametrically opposed to her sister, and that every action she's taking is to stop her. We were under the impression that this was the way she was going about it, but if she's acquiring the power to go about it another way, we don't know.
I mean, to be honest about where I'm at with this, and I trust Sai's interpretation of Titania's, like general objectives. But I know that Sai is smart and also would not fully trust that, even if that is her intention and that's what she truly believed for herself, that wouldn't maybe change once all that power was in her hands. I'm at the point where now that I feel like I see a little more of the bigger picture of what these souls are and the cycle that these souls have been put through against their will. I feel like I think we need to go along with what it is right now, because I don't think that we have a choice. Like, I don't want to jeopardize the position that the people we already have are in under Titania's protection.
Yeah.
So I think that needs to continue, at least for now. But I also think that maybe we could bring the souls together and let them go.
Break them from the cycle?
I still think that doesn't solve the key problem that we're dealing with here.
I don't think we have a solution to that problem at all. But here's where I'm at. My take on this is this. First of all, and I don't care if he hears this or not, so we could just be talking about this in the open. I think that the most important ally in this entire thing, perhaps that we have ever met, is sitting in front of us. Pretty easily. I think that there could be a value in a lot. First of all, we're not going to prevent him from going off if he wants to.
No.
But making a nice here, making an arrangement with this very powerful individual, and collecting and gathering everybody else, business as usual style, and then he can be our prophecy kill switch, our little we can't know enough to have an ace in the hole, but the closest to one that we can have, where he is the person that we can wait to bring together until we can convince him, somebody who would know more than anyone else, that the ideas and contingency plans we have for if this power begins to be wielded wrong, if we can make him believe in our plan, then we can go. That feels like we can actually act on it.
Yeah. I think also we should try and find a plan to get rid of the cycle. You know what I mean? If
that is a possibility, that sounds great.
Yeah. I think if we need to use it to close, she who has a name that I don't remember but shall not be named. Close this person in.
That's the easiest way.
That is a really good way to do it.
Yeah.
It's Mav? Okay, sorry.
Damn it.
Anyway.
Mab.
He said it wrong.
Damn it.
M-double-A-B.
Damn it. Damn it.
Mob.
Yes.
Travis is having a fit right now.
Yeah, Travis just having a bad day.
So, we can try and use this great power to close her in, and then we can try and release this great power from existence if we can.
Yeah.
Yes. If we have any means of doing that, that is the best case scenario.
This is a weird thing, but I think if we can find a way to give Trev the power to wield this, I trust no one more to only shut this person away, and then literally I know Trev would give his life to shut this person away. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's the plan.
Yeah.
But I won't blame large swaths of people for not trusting that, though.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't trust you.
Yeah, it's not that I don't trust you, homie.
No.
Yeah.
I don't trust her.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that until we were very sure about a lot of things.
Yeah, Trev has made very clear that worst comes to worst, not to trust Trev.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is what it is.
I trust what he has told me, and I
Yeah.
trust that maybe when worst comes to worst, we don't give the power to the person that also is possessed by the person who wants the power.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, if you want me to do like a Goku Cell situation, like I could try to pull that off. But like where I teleport, I lock myself in there with her, and then we're just re-fucked. You just be like, now we're just hanging out forever.
Not
I can avoid that.
Yeah, like I'm not. If that's what you want, I bet we can pull that off. But I don't know if that's great.
Oh, it's planned.
Yeah, but I mean, we can figure all that stuff out later. But I do think that like actionable, like saying, like making our peace with this fella. You know, maybe learning some stuff about some of that other business from the past might be fun. But then doing the rest of the plan and then coming back around with him, and maybe we'll have learned a lot more by then.
Yeah.
Hopefully, God willing.
I wanna ask him. I kind of sort of asked him, but not directly before. So I just want to like ask it more clearly now. If we can end the cycle, is that something you would want?
Oh, yes.
Okay. That was the impression that I had, but I did not want to.
Don't want to make any assumptions.
Yeah,
my curse.
A big thing to assume, so I didn't want to assume.
My curse is different, but the curse that me and my fellows have brought upon the 7 other souls, it's too much. It's too much to exist here, and it's too easily misused. We've done well over the past few millennia at keeping these individuals separate, but you all have gotten further than anyone I've ever seen, and there's no one to say that even if you failed, that someone couldn't get further than that, or further than that.
Yes.
We are...
I would agree.
We're asking a lot of you.
Mm-hmm.
What can we do for you? How can we help?
Oh. Sadly, I've known this day was coming for a long time. And there's not much you can do for an old man. I will ride into battle one last time and do what I need to do for reasons that even I don't quite understand yet. You are all seem truly trustworthy. You do things not for yourselves, but for the realm, and I respect that in a way that I have not seen from groups before you. So I will assist in whatever way I need to be, with no compensation, no need to fool yourselves into thinking that there's anything that has to be done for an old man like me. Much appreciate your willingness to give me one last ride. Though, I can only hope that it is one last ride. Who knows at this point?
We'll do our best with that.
We will.
Perhaps that's what we can do for you.
We could
ensure
also
that this is it.
Tip off a certain someone to add a certain character to a certain comic book series.
Yeah,
for sure.
Maybe we ride around on the dragon.
He's like our Zordon figure.
Yeah.
That was... please tell me you didn't actually say that out loud, Armil.
I don't know what Armil said.
Maybe we can ride around on the dragon.
Over.
The dragon who quietly admitted a little while ago that he is currently wingless, or at least lost a wing.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
You said he lost a leg, not necessarily a wing.
Would not have
He made it very clear he can no longer fly.
Yes.
He made it exceptionally clear.
Sorry, my internet has been going in and out, so I've missed
no problem.
parts.
Yeah.
No,
Yes, He pointed out that he is both missing a leg and that he is also missing something in his true form.
I thought he couldn't anyway. I thought he couldn't be a dragon because he was on our airship and he didn't want to fuck.
That is also true.
That is also true.
Well, but he said, "I don't want to."
And I thought that's
your ship. But
I thought
also,
that's why he couldn't fly because he was living in break and he didn't want to fuck up people's houses and stuff.
He is a heavily scarred individual, both inside and out.
I see.
But if he ever needs a lift,
we do have an airship.
We have an airship.
Yeah.
Not to rub in old wounds or anything.
So, did you kind of suspect? Because I gotta say, we're not a very subtle crew. Did you kind of suspect who we were theoretically? That maybe we were here because of the prophecy when we first came into the church.
Certainly.
Okay. It's a little embarrassing.
I mean, it's
penalty is not our strong point.
He's not the first one to have our number either.
Yeah. When an individual who's been touched by the chaoses, a reformed follower of the Queen of Air and Darkness, a seeker for the Feywild, and 3 jabroni friends come in view.
Oh, I've heard this joke before. We all walk into a bar.
It's hard to think that anything else was going on.
I feel like I should be insulted by the jabroni thing.
Yeah, don't work yourself into a shoot, brother.
It's an old term. It's fallen far outside.
I don't know. I think it means something different in Jerselheim.
It's a term from a different. It's a term from a different era.
Different world, a different place.
Oh, the world wasn't racist back in my day, sure.
Says the guy who comes from a race of beings that are separated literally by color.
Now that's not my fault, but I
no, of course not. I just really loved that.
Yeah. Also, none of you have asked him actually how old he is.
I don't need to know.
He's a dragon, probably old. I don't know.
Also, he said he was
cycles. Cycles.
Yeah, he's also a dragon who can't die. He is.
Yeah. I mean, he mentioned many millennia.
He was there at the beginning.
Oh, wait a minute. Actually, here's a solid question. How many cycles has he been through?
That's a good question.
There you go.
Oh, cycles of the.
I care not for age. I care for how many times this has been fucked.
I mean, it's clear to me he's been around for thousands of years.
Yes,
for sure.
If he knew the Raven Queen back when she was a mortal, a while.
How many cycles have I been through? It's almost innumerable to count because the cycle resets with every time that even one of the people go, and you have 7 of them kind of cycling in and out, so it's all very variable.
Of the lustful ones, who's your favorite?
Oh.
You're such an ass.
It's not weird.
It's the first one I could think of. I wanted to know.
To be honest, I've only ever met 2 of them.
All right.
The original, who was, and I say this as politely and frankly as possible, an asshole.
Word.
And one, maybe 17, 18,000 years ago now. Very long time. They were a being before the elves were called the elves. And his love for anything, and I mean anything, that could change his perception even for a couple of hours. Primo. You give that man
Sounds shockingly familiar.
There was a rock that used to it's long since been
Don't tell us about the rock.
An ancient cracked rock.
Don't tell us.
If you If you mind
Don't mention-
if you mind it in just this right way, it would create this
Not
beautifully pure
nope,
white
nope.
powder.
Tell us about
That
I'm plugging up Aramil's ears. Just like, no.
Armil is just sitting in the back packing a bowl now.
We're smoking reefer.
oh no. Regardless, he was quite fun.
Yep.
I'm very interested to meet the other. Not now. I'm very interested to meet the new partakers.
Well,
So
of the ones we know, they're all very nice.
they are. I'm assuming. I don't know if this is like a rude question. Are you honesty?
Okay.
He kind of smiles. I assume you're speaking of the dwarven version of the prophecy there.
Yes.
Oh, right.
I am the one running from the past.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Yep, we got that. We kind of clocked that.
Which
And,
is
in the I would be acceptance in that way of my need to continue forward.
I thought acceptance was Teandra.
Oh.
Nope.
What is Teandra?
She is literal like human connection or like familial connection.
Okay.
Right, because Teandra was learning about her connection to
belonging.
Perrin.
Yes, she was belonging. Belonging is a good way to put it.
Mhm.
That's what I wrote on my notes, but I wrote belonging acceptance for some reason,
Gotcha.
which then confused me there.
Maybe you wrote two because you thought she might be acceptance.
Maybe. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
you guys have played a little bit around with like, is this person or this person?
Yeah, I thought we had been certain with that, but maybe we weren't.
Yes, you have belonging, acceptance, confidence, and vulnerability so far. Or humility, whichever way you want to put that. Or no, you don't have humility. You have,
We don't have
vulnerability. You don't have humility.
Right, so that's the list of what I thought I was missing was anger, humility, contentment, honesty, and peace. So is he peace? Is that like acceptance?
No. Peace is someone different.
Okay.
I'm not going to give you that because that'll be when you get to them, you'll figure out pretty quickly who each one is.
And we know the identities of the other.
Yes, you know the
We know
four.
the name, general
We know the
location.
names. We just need a
like the names in general. Okay.
Yep.
I was just gonna be
Yeah,
like,
we
I'm
even-
honestly surprised none of us are one. So
names and some of the.
It's almost as if I didn't want to do that.
yeah.
Funny that.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah.
You also know
God
the
damn it.
races for 3 of them. You don't know the 4th.
We
You
know.
know where they are too, right? Like we know.
You also know where they are.
Well,
Stay
general location.
glass,
um,
airplane.
Scorch waves.
Yep.
someone that's bouncing between planes.
Correct. That is Jerso.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And
It was current.
No. Jerzo, it says, is on an airship.
Yep.
But he's been traveling through the various elemental planes.
But then,
When we found out he was currently in the elemental
Yeah.
plane of air.
but then Demetrius, I wrote down, is just like bouncing between planes.
He does that a little bit.
Yeah.
He's
Then one's in the
he's-
city of glass.
there's one in the City of Glass, and there's one out in the Scorched Wastes where you guys have not
Ooh.
gone in
Oh,
a
do
while.
you know where the city of glass is?
I'm familiar, yes.
Could you, like,
Do you know how to get there?
yeah.
Go there?
I don't. I know where it used to be.
I mean, that's a good start point.
I could lead you there.
I figured I'd
certainly.
ask.
I could lead
Was
you
it-
to where it used to be.
I think that's
That
a
would
good
probably be a starting point.
business there.
Certainly, I'd be more than willing to assist with that.
So going back to an earlier part of the conversation, which I think you may have clarified, but I don't remember.
Mhm.
You said that once the 8 souls are in conjunction in the process begins,
Mhm.
can one of the 8 be the director of the power? Or does it need to be an external source?
Last time it needed an external source. The overwhelming nature removed all ability for thought from all of us.
So, in essence, unfortunately, we can't rely on you to be the responsible use of the power. We have to be able to supply that ourselves, so to speak.
I can offer you my wisdom now.
Yeah. Which we greatly appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, a further question. Does it have to be one person, or can it be the will of multiple people trying to solve a problem, perhaps?
It is the strongest will in the area, was what happened last time. Now, does that mean that you're correct? Does that mean that it could be 6 minds with the same goal, with the same will, kind of coming together? Possibly. Could it be the one person with the strongest mind and the strongest will? Certainly. I don't know the mechanics. As I mentioned the last time this was undertaken, it took quite literally divine intervention for it to go as well as it did. And even then, there were some issues. We tried to seal up both. We sealed them up both. Just one of them had a bit more comfortable a cage.
I see. Yeah, she's a wily one.
She is. She always seems so nice. And then you talk to her for a little while and you're like, oh, I wouldn't loan you $1. Or give her your name. Also a bad idea.
While I have you here, and this is purely self-interest, obviously I'm connected to her consort. Should that be something I'm concerned about in terms of her influence? Because my understanding was it somewhat insulated me from her.
I would say that you're in the strongest position to be able to avoid her influence. If she keeps the same company she used to keep, present company excluded, they're just as conniving and willful as she is. So I wouldn't be too worried.
Okay. Also, as a player note, I'm hoping everybody's realized from my interactions with Titania that Sai doesn't trust or like her. So,
I got that vibe a while ago.
We got the sense that you're an employee, but you're not necessarily a willing employee.
Oh, I'm an.
Hold on, wait. Let me rephrase that. Wait, really?
Yeah, I am an employee. I'm a contractor. I am not a servant. I am not. It is entirely at will. With
jeez, you were willing to try to kill me, though.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
now I take that way more personally.
I mean,
to be fair,
even under some of the things I have, you hit first, ask questions later.
I was gonna say most of the group did at one point.
So, in wrapping up, because we should wrap up. It's been a couple of hours.
Yeah.
He does look at you, Marleman, as this conversation is kind of wrapping up. Looks at you and says, "You and I should have a longer conversation, by the way. I believe there are some things that I may know that might be of interest to you."
Do you mean I'm not going to have to drown myself from now on?
He doesn't know what that means.
No, I do, unfortunately.
Listen, I would not have said that if I did not actually think that he had some sort of response.
First off, I can't believe he's still doing that.
Really? Have you met him?
But are you, though?
Multiple times. I've met him a number of times. He's the only one whose essence we couldn't put away. It's too vast and, to be frank, stupid.
Annoying. There you go.
It's, there was no singular vessel strong enough. So yes, I'm well aware of Manon and Maklir. Last I heard, he was
If you
going
could just
by.
give me any information, obviously,
he is fickle.
Out of character speak.
Yeah.
Out of character speak. We don't have to do this right now, but
Yeah. He actually, funnily enough, he wasn't actually talking about Mac.
No, that's not what I mean. I just meant in general. Like, this guy is very clearly, other than the archivist thing, or Wikipedia, as I've been calling him.
Yes.
That's really
Like
good.
Wikipedia Brown.
Also good.
I mean, Wikibot is great. Like all of those various
Wikibot's
things.
real good.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like Wikibot only knew events. He didn't know people.
Right. But so that's my point. Is like other than that thing.
Yeah.
This guy very clearly seems to know a lot more about anything we've ever.
Yeah.
He was thinking about
there.
Right? Like this guy very clearly has sage wisdom that he can give to us. So
he's the wisdom
events
counterpart
now.
to the intelligence.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Like earlier, casually dropped something about like Marleman's conception, and then just didn't actually say anything about it.
Yeah. Yep. I heard that too. When I heard that too, y'all didn't hear no soundboards, did you?
No.
Because I've been patiently waiting.
For a track to explode on.
Yeah, he knows a lot about that part.
Beautiful.
You
The
can't OD on it.
you
Jim
can
Meadows is just a real. He's just a champion, okay?
you can you can in fact OD on information, especially in D&D. But actually, he was more specific. More specifically, he looks at you and says, "It would appear that you have a relationship with a person that I'm very familiar with, that I would love us to have a further conversation about."
Oh.
I would also like to know more information about this other person. Because about 3 or 4 episodes ago, Marleman had an existential crisis about the whole situation.
Yeah.
I was
has kind of been pushing it to the back of his mind as much as possible because there's
And
more
we-
pressing matters at hand, and that's kind of
We
literally not in the forefront.
Did we establish that was only Petunia who had that weird hiccup and not any of the other?
Yep.
Yes.
Just Petunia.
Just Petunia.
Not Teandra or Bonnie.
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
I guess a question I have for some of our peace of minds. Nice. So one, perhaps 2 of us have connections to deities who still locked behind the divine gate, but should we at all be concerned that those forces will try and interfere, or are those kind of neutral in this?
I can tell you right now, Celestian don't give a shit.
Celestine doesn't. Cord might.
I can tell you with full certainty that the actions of demi-mortals are far beyond that of those who sit behind the divine gate. They honestly couldn't give 2 fucks. The only reason they gave 2 fucks at all last time is because we physically went to them.
Okay. All right.
Story for another day.
I would be lying if I said I didn't want to speak with you some more later in private, sir.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have a big info dump meeting with this.
Certainly.
Dragon Man.
I think what we might
We're all
do
gonna
for
have
next...
our own adventure with Zuko. Learn
Yes.
something along the way.
Yes.
So I was actually about to say, I think the plan for the next time, and we'll schedule this for when we can, but I think a good plan for the next time is that I'm going to bring you guys in from the backstage. So those of you can like be listening as well, but like it's going to be mostly character stuff. A little bit more like personal one-on-one time or 2-on-2 time, depending on what you would like to know. So not to say that it's distracting having everybody or anything like that, but just so it can be a little bit more character and a little bit more
guided.
Like, yeah.
Sure. Less sound
and also,
interactions.
yes. I mean, if the Marleman one is just a sound interaction, so be it.
We'll have to come more ready to go back at them with.
So we'll discuss like the order of those and like what kind of those are going to look like off mic. But just so I know for the future, for the next step, do you guys want to go to Pick or do you want to go to the City of Glass? Those were the 2 options you had last time, and then we got things got weirder here thanks to a good cast of True Sight. So things got different. But which one would you like to go to?
I thought we go to the glass while we have our friend here, who might be able to lead us there.
As much as I want to go to the air, I think City of Glass is the more important one.
Yeah.
Although, actually, hang on. Do we have any reason to suspect that the Order is trying to do something in the City of Glass?
Yes.
Okay, then yes, we should.
Yes,
I think
agreed.
I forget
while
why,
we
but I
have-
really wanted to go there a while ago. Somewhere several months
I-
ago in real life, I wanted to go there a lot.
Your walkie-talkie
I
conversation
think
with
it's best to
Corin.
go while we have
Right.
time.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
Speaking
so,
of time,
Theoretically, if we start running out of time, we can always ask your siblings.
yeah. Will this be we have downtime in town to do things, or like what kind of time frame are we looking to go?
we didn't quite get to like the town actions that I had kind of expected you guys to do. So we'll say that over the next like 5 days of in-game time,
Whoops,
you guys are having a little bit more like one-on-one time with Aureus, but also heading to Jerselheim to go and stock up on gems if you need to for certain spell casts. Some town time, some time, things like that. We'll do that as well.
Okay.
You can just let me know if you want to. Like, you can just text me if it's just like, hey, I'm gonna go do this thing. I can let you know if that is.
And we'll just
within...
RP that in our vignettes.
Exactly.
Okay.
But cool. Well, you guys met a dragon. You guys met a third dragon, and this one didn't want to kill you.
Yay!
It's me, a dragon man.
Once again, True Sight fucks your plans up.
We will. No, honestly, like this one, a little bit less so.
Well, yeah, but...
yeah. All right.
Not nearly as bad as the last one.
No. All right.